Welcome into session 30 of Adventures in Aanthara. Nothing serious happening here. Well, it kind of is myself, but also it's everybody else. Listen, we could spend 3 minutes summarizing where things have gone over the last week or so of game, but that would be foolishness because we're in the middle of a battle. So let's just briefly summarize that. The party met up with, the Twilight Heralds, excuse me, met up with another member of the Scarlet Swords, a potential co-worker of Eadwin's, who has been hunting some creatures, was not exactly sure how many there were, seemed to have recently discovered there may have been more than he expected, and asked for the party's help in exchange for some information which he gave to Eadwin, and potentially a cut of whatever they get from this contract. And they found the creatures, ambushed them. Things were going great, quite great actually. And then a couple more of these creatures, these lanky, skeletally, gaunt-skinned, horrific-eyed spike creatures. And now there's 3 of them. All the other small toe creatures are dead. However, the 3 Lost Sorrowsorn, as they are called, each have a member of the party / allies grappled. One has Ivan, the Scarlet Sword, who is unconscious on the north part of the map. One has Brightwing, and one has Eadwin, who does not look great, reportedly. So, we pick up there at the top of the order. Faye, it is your turn. What would you like to do?
Is crying a free action?
Yes, crying is a free action.
Yes.
Okay. Ooh. Alright. After watching Ivan go down, watching Eadwin and Brightwing both become grappled and pinchered with these attacks, and kind of looking back and forth and seeing that Eclipse and Yasnip are with Brightwing, she's safe. I'll look at Eadwin and I'll run 25 feet over to him and just kind of and I'm gonna hug him from behind and whisper, "You do not die this day," and give him my healing hands.
Okay. Which is how much? Oh, you roll it, right?
I roll it. It's 3d4.
Okay.
9.
9. That is quite good.
9.
Okay. That's a action or a bonus action?
That's an action.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna take a 5-foot diagonal step this way.
Okay.
Just to stay close to him, and then call back over my shoulder. Eclipse, I don't got it. I don't got it. I need help.
Okay.
And I'll try to give her an inspiration. Gosh, all I have is a bunch of big cat jokes, and it's not great.
He is big clips right now.
Big clips. Yeah.
Do what you gotta do.
God, they all left. I will just hope that the pleading tone in my voice is enough to inspire urgency.
Okay.
Given her protective nature.
Yep. Eclipse, you get a D8, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Inspiration die. And it is your turn.
Okay, so I have a really quick question.
Yes.
How distracted is it with holding onto Brightwing, and is it gonna hit me on the way out? Like, is there a chance it's gonna stop me if I walk away, or?
There is a chance it will try to attack you. It has many appendages, not all of which are holding Brightwing, so it
Okay.
could strike out at you.
Okay,
If you
but
run.
not, like, grab,
No.
as far as I can tell.
You don't get
Okay.
that sense. No, it seems to
Okay.
be focused on grappling Brightwing. It might stab out at you just
Let's see
in
how
spite.
this is. Okay. So I am going to feline agility to get over to Aedwin. So I'm gonna get out of here and go
Okay.
here.
All right. It will take an attack of opportunity,
Okay.
which is a 10. That misses.
Okay. So, I'm then gonna bait and switch with Aedwin to get him out.
Okay. Okay. Which is free action for you, right?
Right.
Okay. So you expend your superiority die, right?
I think I have to pull it. Yeah, so I
Yeah, that's for the
I
AC.
expend it and roll it to give him AC.
Okay. Before you roll it,
Okay.
and this was studied in detail to make sure we did this right.
Right.
You will need to roll an athletics check. The typical
Okay.
bait and switch is moving an ally who's willing and able. And this ally is very grappled. So roll an
Yeah.
athletics check. It is against the DC of the creature's grapple escape.
Okay. Do I have
Tell me
any
what you get.
bonuses being large?
You have
You do. You
advantage
have
on strength
advantage.
checks.
You have advantage because it is a strength check, and you have an inspiration die if you need it.
Okay. And it's a D8.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
And it's just a strength check. So just the modifier.
Athletics.
It's athletics.
Mm-hmm.
26.
26. Hot damn. Okay. Eclipse lumbers up next to you, Faye, after you call for her help, and in one motion grabs around Aedwin's shoulders, and the size of her bulging deltoids and biceps and triceps just knocks the clawed arms of this creature off of Aedwin. She spins Aedwin behind her and
Does
swaps
the little-
places.
Does
Yes, the little thing comes
Okay.
with because it's still attached to Aedwin. So Aedwin's now on top of a dead one, attached to another one, and surrounded by a bunch more.
Okay.
Eclipse, you are on this thing and have your action and bonus action still. Feline agility is also free.
It's also
Is
it's
that
a
true?
special action, yeah.
Wow. Okay.
And then I roll to give him AC, right?
Yes.
You can give it to
either
him
take
or
your-
yourself.
Yeah.
Is it a D10? Do I have that wrong? Or is it something else?
It's your
Did it go up?
superiority die.
I don't think they go up. I'm trying to remember.
It's
what
a
it is.
D8 normally, but
There
I don't
it
know
is.
if it goes.
Okay. I was like, that seems way too. So if I have it right, you get +4
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
to your AC
Okay.
until the start of my next turn. So,
All right.
Okay. And then, is it possible for me to hit the thing that's attached to him?
Yeah,
Or would that
you
be
can.
like an aimed thing?
No, it's a creature. It's just instead of standing on its feet, it is holding on to Aedwin.
Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna try to knock that off of him.
Okay.
Alright. So here we go. Let's see. That's a 16?
That hits.
Yeah. That's 8 total?
Okay. You, after spinning Aedwin behind you, then twist your spear and spin it at the creature, attempting to knock it off Aedwin. You stab it and pull it back, and you just have a skewer with one of these things on it. It is dead. It had
Perfect.
1 HP.
Oh
Woo.
my god. Okay. So I'm gonna lay into the other guy then.
Okay, you got
did
another
that one
attack.
take some of the fire hands?
Yeah. I think that's what it had taken the damage from. I think it's the only one that saved against it, in fact.
Okay.
And managed to survive with a little bit of health.
Okay, so I get one more hit on the guy that was holding. It's a natural one. That's fine.
Okay, that misses.
Saved all the good rolls for before, so that's fine.
I'm okay. Back to full, guys. Thanks.
Mission accomplished. All right.
How many natural ones have there been?
That's at least
You've
4.
had so many.
Yeah,
I rolled 2. I rolled 2 natural ones last game.
Wow. Okay, and that's your turn? Okay. Well, that little creature was going to be up and do auto damage, but it is dead, so it does not.
I have them
And
on the initiative
Edwin.
tracker as toes with teeth.
Yep. It is your turn.
Teeth. Fuck's sake.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Oh,
Matt, can I say that I dropped spike growth so Faye wouldn't take damage from going into it?
Yeah, I think Faye's technically... Oh, no, she kind of is. But yes, once you see her starting to run over there, I would say you can drop it for free,
Okay,
yeah.
it's dropped.
All right, it's gone.
I think I forgot one thing.
So hard to see. Yes?
My shield, is that a bonus action? It looks like it is. The one that I got with
There
the-
are things you can do with your shield that is a bonus action, yes, which you
So
still
I wanted
have your
to
bonus
do
action.
Burst of Vitality.
Okay!
Give Adwin temp HP.
Is it just Adwin who gets temp HP?
I think it's everybody within a range, right?
Each creature within 15 feet. So I think I can also give it to Faye.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And yourself.
And myself. So
And it's
Yeah.
what, how much?
it's a D4 plus my con mod.
Okay. Roll that.
It's a 4.
Yay!
Plus 3.
Damn!
So
Okay.
7.
What's it look
So-
like, though?
So she's
Yeah,
going
you can describe
to once she misses on that last hit, she's gonna come back just as in like an intimidating way and just slam her shield against it, and it's gonna burst with like a bright moonbeam that just kind of scatters around everybody. And just radiates out and then comes back in.
Yep. And the two of you feel a surge of energy and get big old temp HP. All right, Adrian, it's your turn.
HP, let's go.
Yeah, I'm thinking. I have no features. I just have a spell slot and a dream.
Let's go.
Okay, so Ivan is down, right?
Technically,
Like,
he is
fully
not down because this thing has him grappled in the air, but he is
Okay, but you
he
He's
is
unconscious.
unconscious.
he is
Yes,
unconscious, yes.
and you can see that from
Fuck's
here.
sake.
His head
Okay.
is falling.
Yeah, perfect. Okay. Boy, howdy. This is dumb. Let's see. Let's see. That was a journey. Yeah, I guess that's what he's doing. He is going to rush. After sort of getting his bearings, after being manhandled out of the grasp of the Sorrowsworn, kind of takes a quick 180 of his surroundings, sees Ivan down, and will immediately rush over here. And he is going to... Let's see what he's going to do.
Lots of decisions.
Yep, man, rolling super low. This is super cool. He is going to kind of stow his sword for a moment and reach his hand out to Ivan, and I will use lay on hands on him
Okay.
to give him 20.
20.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that your max?
No.
Okay. What does that look like?
This sort of red flame kind of trails arm and gets what the hell? And gets thrust directly into Ivan's body as it sort of reinvigorates with this new fire.
Okay. You hear as he takes in a breath.
Not yet. And
Fuck.
that's my turn.
Okay. Yasnip, you are up. Brightwing, you are on deck.
All right. I am going to pivot down behind this guy and unleash 3 attacks.
Get up.
24 on the first.
That hits.
God,
Roll
I can't
damage.
Math. That is 9 points with an additional 7 of cold.
9 with an additional 7.
For
16.
total.
Brightwing, you feel the almost stake-like ends of this creature's limbs that are piercing or gripping you in multiple spots suddenly lax, loosen, release, and then the whole thing falls to the ground, dead. Brightwing is free.
Thank you.
Sure. And I'm gonna have like this moment where I just kind of look out the corner, see where Faye and Eclipse are, and where Eowyn is, and I am going to go to here with the remainder
Okay.
of the movement.
Okay. Brightwing, you're up.
Okay. I could. Everyone's up. I could still I could still mass healing word. But who's hurt besides me, Eowyn, and Ivan? It's kind of a waste of it then. But okay, yeah, because that would only be potentially 9 points.
That is a
back.
spiritual
It's a
weapon.
spiritual weapon.
Oh.
Yeah, that's spiritual weapon. That's the frog.
The
Yep.
frog.
It's a frog, that's right.
Timothy fights back.
How
Timothy.
hurt does the one that
Timothy.
Ivan is holding Ivan look?
Ish. They both look ish. They look like they've taken a good amount of damage and are still fighting.
Okay.
Bloody
Well, you
one
know,
might
safe
say.
than sorry. I'll do a mass healing word just for safe and sorry.
Okay. That can hit how many?
Everybody.
Okay.
I don't have my D4. Where's my D4?
I bet you'd be able to find it if it were in a sock.
True.
It's true.
I got a bottle of them. You want me to do it?
Okay. Ah, there it is. Okay. 3 plus 5, I think? Yeah, plus 5, so 8 points.
8 points. Okay.
So good.
How the turntables turn.
And that's a bonus action.
Yes, it is.
Can I do 2 bonus actions?
Yes, I have said in the past that you can do 2 bonus actions instead of a bonus action and action in most cases, at least. So that's you could use
Okay.
your spiritual weapon.
Okay. Sweet. Yeah, that'd be better than Shillelagh. So yeah. Not Shillelagh, Sacred Flame, because I should not get near these things. So yeah, I'll hit it.
Okay.
Let me get to... Did I cast that at a second level or a first? I cast that at a second level. Yeah. Let's try to remember these things.
The
Mhm.
mass healing word.
No spiritual
Or-
weapons.
Spiritual
thing.
Yeah.
It's a good
Mass healing
reminder
word's a
for the
third level
future.
spell.
Yeah.
Do a little boop.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
For rounds?
No,
for level.
for level.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you. 17 to hit.
Yes, that hits.
Awesome.
Isn't it always a second level?
I think it's
Mm,
minimum.
Minimum second level.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. I'm just not thinking today, y'all. Okay, and it's a D8 plus 5. Oh god, off the tip. That went wild. Ooh, an 8!
Whoa.
Plus 5. So,
Okay.
math, 13 damage. It's force
Okay.
damage.
Yeah. Which completely bypasses what has seemed to be some resistance to other damage you guys have noticed. Okay, are you going
Um,
to stay where you are?
Can I move to an angle where I can see both the creatures, but still be in a good distance? Okay, whatever that
So,
angle would
like-
be.
Like here, probably?
Yeah.
Or one to the right? Somewhere in that range?
This is fine. I'm just a Naznip. This is fine. I'm still a little close. It's okay.
Okay, you're good with that spot?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. It is Ivan's turn. Ivan is pissed. And you hear the fuck from his initial breath back to life turn into a deep growl as he re-rages with a bonus action because it dropped when he went unconscious. And despite being held in by this creature, just takes the butt of his weapon and smashes it twice into this creature. Takes 2 attacks. Reckless. Because heck this thing. For a natural 20. Reckless do be a thing, though. So that is going to be a d8. Plus 1 is 7, plus 14. Okay, second attack. Reckless. Oh, that's not very good. 15 is its armor class.
Holy shit. What's going on?
Plus. Jeez Louise. Okay. Much like with Brightwing, as he smacks up into this thing's chin, its head cracks back, and he falls to the ground, landing on his feet as it falls to the ground, unconscious and dead. There is one left, and it is its turn. Ivan's not moving. I mean, there's a gigantic cat in front of it. It's gonna attack you. It's gonna roll to see if it gets its embrace back.
Oh boy.
A 6. It does. It's going to attempt to embrace you.
Oh no. I don't want the huggies. You can have it back. No.
That's pretty good. That is a 21 to hit.
It's a hit? Yeah.
Yes. You take.
Let's see. Do
Ugh.
we have in a reaction? Reduce the damage, reduce the damage. Yeah.
How much damage
25.
did... Sorry.
What is the question?
How much damage did Ivan do to take that thing down?
Total?
Mm-hmm. Or between his two...
14 and... It's 14 on the first one.
6 plus... Well, it had less than what he did, but he did 26 total.
26... Oh.
And Brightwing had done some damage as well. That's 25 piercing damage to you, Eclipse.
Okay. You said it was 25?
25.
Okay, so it's
And
just a flat
you-
20 damage.
Are not grappled because you are not a medium or smaller creature. So and you are not frightened because you are not grappled, and you don't take your damage on your turn because you are not grappled.
Let's go.
Wow. That
Big
is
kitty.
suck.
Thick lips.
Okay. All right, that's its turn. Faye, you were up. Eclipse, you're on deck.
All right. I don't like that.
No.
I'm gonna yeah, that kind of made me a little mad. So I'm gonna take a step forward.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Oh shit.
And as I step from around the edge of Eclipse, the wings come up and the eyes go dark as I activate the necrotic shroud.
Oh boy. Okay,
And I'm
needs to roll
gonna-
save,
Spooky.
Yes, for fear.
which is a
It's a save. There's a save involved.
True.
Charisma.
that is a 0. So
he's
this
scared
thing
of
is
me.
frightened. Yep.
And then I don't want him this close to me because Bard and Squishy. So I'm gonna cast a 3rd level Thunder Wave.
Ooh. Okay, above it, I assume.
Damn.
No, according to Jeremy Crawford, I can, standing here, center it and draw shape. Hold please. Do this.
Okay, you can
So
do
20.
that.
Yeah.
And is it pushed away from you or from the center of the thunder wave?
From me.
spell.
The thunder wave itself originates from me, but fills that space, and everything is pushed away from me.
Got it.
But according to
hell
Jeremy
yes.
Crawford, that square could be like, oh my
Yes,
god, I'm just gonna keep
You can do that.
help get rid of them,
More
please.
squares. More
More
squares.
squares.
More
Okay.
squares.
More.
We need more squares.
I'll need more squares.
Help.
You are yes. The
I'll need more squares.
square
We
can
need
go
more
out
squares.
in the yep.
Yes. It's
All
still
right.
pushed away from me.
10 feet.
10 feet.
5, 10. Okay.
Oh no,
And it
hold
is-
on. It's a 15 foot. So-
15 foot.
Well, no,
Wait,
no,
15 foot-
it's a 15 foot. He has to make a save, Matt.
Oh,
There's
he
another
does make a save. Oh,
Yes.
God. What save is this?
Another.
It's a charisma save. Because
Goodness.
I say so.
I literally rolled another 0. 2 natural 3s minus 3. Unbelievable.
And I don't get an attack of opportunity from the push because it's
Mm-mm.
force
No.
movement.
Correct. And it takes
So-
damage, yes?
Yeah, it takes 48 and... Well, hold on. Because I made it make a save, it takes my inspiration, so it's 5d8 plus 3 necrotic.
Is that only if you... Oh, did you change it to charisma?
I changed it to Constitution
Got it.
saving throw.
We got it.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
That's a lot of
7,
numbers.
Great
6,
sound.
6, 5, 3. So
Ooh,
12,
that's very good.
15, 27, 30.
30?
30.
God damn.
Oh my.
Get wrecked.
Hold.
20, yeah. 27
Hold.
plus 3.
Hold.
30.
I just have to do these things when they happen because lol. Faye,
Damn.
would you like to describe the finish?
Yeah!
Yeah.
Let's go, Faye.
Have I ever gotten the last one? That's so
I don't
fun.
know.
Go.
I don't know. Okay. I mean, that was kind of it was the emotional stress of all of that, and like watching friends become in bad places, and then Eclipse take a wallop after coming in to like swoop in and help a buddy, and then just being like, no, not today. And so the anger and the fear of that was channeled into that push.
Okay.
And then she's
And
just
it-
gonna fall to her knees again with the wings kind of covering her head. Just deep breathing.
Hell yes. And it is pushed 15 feet is where it would be standing, but as it is knocked unconscious and dead, basically, by this, it flies another 6 feet, rolling on the ground, crunching into a rock, utterly crushed, dead. And the battlefield is clear.
Hell yeah. Oh boy.
Guys, the plan worked.
Yeah, it's amazing. Who would have thought that we've actually know what we're doing?
Yeah. We did.
Uh,
Do I shrink now?
You technically have like probably another 40 seconds.
45
plus.
seconds?
Yeah.
I'll stay this way.
I see a couple trees here.
I'm gonna kill a tree.
No. Jump it.
Don't kill a tree, not in front of Brightwing. How dare you? It's okay, you can get down trees.
Ivan, standing next to you, Adwin, takes a couple deep breaths, gasped, looks down at the creature, looks at the mess of other creatures, and holds his forearm out to you.
I'll lift him back up.
That was a lot fucking worse than I thought it would be, but well done.
You need to get better sources.
You're not wrong.
Do we need anything off of these?
The arms, right? I mean, that's pretty standard.
Take as many as I can carry, aye.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll go check on the one that Faye just fucking demolished. See if there's anything left.
Look over
Well
the
done to all of you, by the way. And I apologize. It was much more than I expected.
They have all of you sign some kind of death pact when you join the Scarlet Sword.
Something like that, yeah.
Ivan just kind of nods with a grim look on his face. It's not the safest work, no. Would recommend it to all of you, given your
It's gonna start
what
to
you
walk
just
away.
showed, but fair enough.
Damn. Damn.
Okay. Little time passes, spiritual weapon fades, eclipse shrinks back down. Is there anything else you guys
Oh,
want to do
can I
here
say
before
before
leaving?
the spiritual weapon leaves, it's gonna hop towards Faye
No.
and give a little tongue,
Little
just
blip.
go, blip, and then
Little
go
blip.
Yep.
blip, as
Okay.
the water dissipates.
Like, the wings, like, go up around the neck, like,
it's a big frog. It's like a Minecraft frog. It's
Hmm.
bigger than what you think it would be.
Oh, jeez. Alright. How many of these arms do we get for the guy?
As many as you want. He's hacking it with an axe at them over
Okay.
time.
So I'll,
up to you
I'll
guys.
try to, like, cut them off with my spear at the joint.
Okay.
Gathers me.
I won't even make you roll for it. It's not difficult. It's
Okay.
not necessarily a delicate internal organ you're trying to acquire. You're just chopping off spiky ends, so
Okay.
easily done.
Cool.
Eventually,
I mean, do you
Gathers
need
them
to
up.
cure wounds? Question mark.
I mean, I'm fine.
how does Ivan look? He actually got a. Yeah, he actually looks pretty okay.
Okay,
You guys pumped a lot of healing.
cool.
Yeah.
We can probably use hit dice then.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys want a
I'll
short
do it.
rest here?
Yeah, we could do that. It's like what the start of the day even. We didn't do much. This was like the
It took
first
us
thing.
about 2 hours to get out here, though, right?
Yeah,
So it's going to take us 2 hours to get back, and then an extra hour to long rest. So we've been
It's
out
around
for 5
midday.
hours. Yeah.
Okay. Then
Getting
yeah, we can
close
do it
to.
when we get back to the cart, I guess.
Okay.
having to do
You
it
want to
out
go
here.
back?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Does it seem like anything else is out here, like a nest or any kind of like cave
You
thing?
you did see a couple spots where those two unspotted Sorrowsworn skittered up out of
Mm-hmm.
during the fight. Do you want to check those out?
Yeah, just briefly, just to make sure there's nothing like they were protecting in there or any
Roll
babs.
survival check.
Adrian, you want to check? Cause like I don't know what I'm doing, man. I'm just being thorough. It's a 3.
Wow.
I'm just
You-
poking around in the bushes like
Yep.
this seems
You-
important.
You poke around a little bit. You don't find any like eggs or babies in a nest. It just
Okay.
seems to be a messy, tussled area that you can't tell. Were they being nested here? Was this a home?
Okay.
Were they just hiding when they heard things? You're not sure.
With my passive insight of 19, Megan, how is Faye looking?
Bad.
Okay. To know.
And the wings last a minute, right?
Mm-hmm. And they were
Okay, so-
like up over her head for that minute of just like you guys. It was just like hiding.
While everyone's doing the cutting off the arms, which I'm sure takes more than a minute.
Yes. I mean, they
Um,
fade.
Brightwing just kind of sits in front of you, not touching, making sure you have your space. It was a lot. Do you need to be alone right now?
No, it just still scares me every time.
It is not the most pleasant sight. Like,
Thanks.
how do you feel when it happens? Besides scared.
Powerful.
Do you like it?
Feels dirty. Dark. It's corrupted.
You don't feel like yourself?
It's cool, but it's wrong. It's alright. We won. Everyone's alive.
Yes.
Kind of stand up and look around and take stock and start helping out.
Okay.
Brightwing recognizes that it's definitely like, we're not talking about this right now, and she's like, okay.
Okay. Anything else anyone wants to do while at this site, or do you begin making your way back?
Yasna doesn't put his weapon away until I leave.
Okay.
I will follow up with what Eclipse said and double check everything, make sure we've been thorough.
Okay. Yeah. It seems like you have at least eliminated whatever group of these creatures had gathered here. Not exactly sure why they had, or whether they intended to stay or leave or what, but it seems you've cleared out the creatures that were here.
Certainly not native to this area, right?
No.
Yeah. Would I know where they would come from?
Well, Ivan initially mentioned that they were not even native to this plane.
Right.
Um,
Did he happen to have a plane specifically that he got from the book?
he didn't say.
Spooky book. Go.
Pokedex failed.
Damn.
Okay. Cool.
You guys make your way back?
Yeah.
Okay. It's another hour and a half, 2 hour walk back to the road. In, I would say, probably relatively mostly silence. Ivan, I would say, Brightwing, you can largely tell this, and maybe Yasnip from the glances given, based off some of the interactions, but he appears to be a little bit, I wouldn't say sheepish or ashamed, but maybe guilty to a degree at what happened and how close things got. And there's a part of that that is counteracted by the fact that he suffered the worst from it, but he does not attempt to strike up conversation given the vibe that he can sense, it seems. But when you guys reach the road and carts and horses are gathered and he goes to Aedwin. I won't pretend like I fully understand. We're used to working solo, and it's hard to... Well, it's not natural for me to consider the well-being of everybody else. Don't know how it works for you, but... Just know I didn't mean for things to go the way they did.
You never do. It's impossible to say what'll happen once you go out there, you know? You just take it as it comes. And should circumstance be in your favor, you walk away from it alive.
Circumstance, and in this case, some competent friends. I'm very grateful, at the least. And he hands you a small piece of vellum that has scrawled on it a note about the contract, your help, signed by him to take to someone and a bearer of the Scarlet Swords to get your chunk of what was promised.
So, I mean, you were coming from Ilmara, or you're not going back?
Not right away. But good luck on your journeys. Safe travels. Safer than that all was, at least.
Yeah, I think we're probably going to take it easy a bit.
He climbs up onto his smallish horse.
Before he goes, Bartman's gonna go up.
Okay.
Mr. Ivan, you might feel sore tomorrow based off the activities of today, so this might help. And she hands him over a tied bag of different tea leaves, or her own mixture for help with sore and muscles.
He takes it, kind of gives it a quizzical look, and then as he pockets, gives you a quizzical look. Very surprising. You and your group. Grateful for it, though.
May the wild guide you.
He just nods with another slightly quizzical, I don't know what this person is or what she's about, but
Yeah, the one
sure.
just shrugs.
Yep. And then kicks his horse into gear and starts riding up the road.
Well, that was unexpected.
I'm gonna look at Yaznip and just kind of smirk. I guess we're really good at cleaning up those messes. Did they try to offer us a job?
I don't know anymore.
Okay. You guys take a short rest.
All right.
You can mark all that off.
Yay!
What the hell
And
did
then
I-
begin traveling again.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything anybody wants to do or say on the rest of that day's travel?
Do we have any more checks to make?
You do. You have the 3 checks to make. The d20 has been rolled. The sky is getting a little cloudier, which Brightwing also saw in her, Druidcraft.
I
I have the weather report ready to go.
Oh. These are the 3 checks we were supposed to do?
If there's nothing anyone else wants to do throughout the day, yes. Okay.
I would just
3
inspire
checks. Oh,
inspire Yasmin.
okay.
Funny.
And I'll try to make it like, now that she's shook her funk off, she's like compensating, so she's doing like the over bubbly thing. Yeah. It's like, last time you did like really good with the horses, so like maybe this time if you wanted to do something else, like that would be really cool. So like perhaps, and like just try to like just gas him up, but not outright say maybe try something different, but say try something different, but in like an encouraging way.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Um,
Yaznip, you have a D8.
I will say that I know we're not doing watches, but I think Brightwing would take a watch with Yasnit this night.
Okay. Yeah, you can. We will have one watch roll, but you can certainly do things on the watch if you want. So before we get to that, survival for someone, animal handling for the horses, and charisma for someone else.
I'll do
And who rolled a d20 today?
I think it was.
I
I think it was
might have been
Eclipse.
Yaz. Was it Eclipse?
I think I did
I
the
thought
one for yesterday. Because it was Aedwin, then me.
Yeah.
And then
I thought this time was Eclipse because we
had to
we didn't
be
want her to have
Eclipse.
to roll perception.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
alright.
That's for sure
So-
what it was.
Eclipse rolled the d20, so 3 other people for this, and then the last person can roll the perception check for the watch.
I am going to spend the day doing rhythmic beats on the side of the wagon with 2 torches to try to cut the tension.
Okay.
I'll take the survival
I guess.
because we're getting closer to Ilmara, so I feel like I would
Yeah,
have a
sure.
little bit more knowledge of the countryside.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
It's
I would.
just-
Yeah, in that regard, I don't know where I'm going. I
Nope.
should not be survival.
It's just charisma, right?
Yeah, charisma check, survival for Faye, and then Aedwin or Brightwing, one of you takes the animal handling.
And a D8.
It's a bad idea.
And a
Just
D8
put-
if
you want
just putting it out there.
Well, what's
It's
your
a bad
perception?
idea. Well,
Yeah, the other one will
it's
be
just an
perception.
animal handling check. Or I guess we're also doing a perception check. My animal handling is a +1. My perception's a +4. So,
Okay. That's not
Brightwing
bad.
can drive the cart today.
Heading.
It wouldn't have mattered.
19.
19.
11.
Okay, hold on your perception check.
Yeah,
Faye.
I got a nat 20.
Wow, for a total of.
Cruising.
22.
Wow. Okay. And Yaznit.
25.
Oh my goodness.
We traveled by map
Okay.
today.
Wait, you
The
did a
D's-
charisma check and got a 25? You got a
He
nat
had
20?
inspiration.
Oh, the inspiration. I was like, what the f...
The DC for this day was higher because of the encounter, and that utterly annihilated it.
I'm
So,
gonna do some doot doots to match his like little drum because I have a horn.
Yeah.
okay.
It's a little bit of a down with the sickness. Just
Yes.
Wow. Wow.
Please tell me it's in time with the chops.
Yeah, everything just
Yeah.
somehow magically comes together. Yeah, it's really good. It's really
Okay. And Aidwin, you rolled an 11 in your perception check?
I did.
Okay, so that covers the watches. Anything you guys want to do in your watches, go ahead. Brightwing, you said you took one with Yasnib?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm assuming you're reading your book.
no
don't
book
have to-
tonight, actually.
Oh, your book.
No,
Okay.
no book tonight.
No book tonight. Well, I think Brightwing's probably working on some herbalist thing with her kit while you're watching.
Second,
yes.
unexpected, kind of expected. My mom's here.
Unexpected.
Right back.
Oh no. Okay.
While we're waiting for this watch, Brightwing's herbalist kit is really cool. It's all naturally made.
Sponsored by Brightwing's
You're
Herbal
missing.
Remedies.
So I guess
Yeah.
actually I can ask a technical question about the shield. Can I only use one thing off of it, or is it each thing regens at?
Let me pull it up, please. 1 second, pause.
Fuck! It was too late. Brian's back. Oh god.
Sorry.
You can DM me. We can let them do their thing.
It sounds like it's a charge per each feature.
That's what I would imagine. But yeah, go ahead.
Yep. Once per day, you can do the Lunar Cleanse, and once per day, you can do the Burst of Vitality.
Sweet.
Cool.
Alright. Awesome.
That's sweet.
Cool.
Okay.
She probably hands you a cup of tea at one point from her messing around with things. We don't know what it's gonna do. It's probably gonna do something funny. And just kind of sits in the moment of just enjoying your company. But has also kind of realized that you had some tension today from that fight. So today was eventful. I would not really call that an huzzah moment, as you say.
Nobody died.
No.
It's worthy of a huzzah in my book.
Thank you for taking care of the one that had its in me.
I wouldn't leave you hanging.
Oh. That is what you call pun, yes?
That it is.
That was funny. Are you okay?
I'm frustrated, but that's about it.
May I ask why?
I don't like it when people say they're going to do something and then they don't do it.
What did we not do?
The eyes will kind of shift towards Eowyn for a moment. For a man that preaches about grouping up and positioning, he has a habit of running off on his own. And I'm tired of chasing him.
I can see how that would be frustrating. Perhaps that needs to be settled. Between you two, I don't really... I don't know, I guess I was sort of left during the other fight, but that needed to happen in my eyes. But I'm okay. And you're okay.
It's all good for now, but the time that either of us aren't, it's a bigger problem.
I see. I'm not very used to this strategy. I'm not very used to combat. To be fair, that is more for the other clans than myself. So it is. I like learning the different aspects of it and see the benefit and the wisdom behind it. But I also think instincts, which is very much part of my culture, are very important too. I believe you say listen to your stomach, right?
To your heart.
I will make a note of that. That's a weird translation. Stomach and heart are very similar in my tongue.
It's even better when it's your gut.
What is gut?
Something deeper. It's more like that instinct.
Is that the phrase then? Trust your gut?
There you go.
Hmm.
And listen to your mind. But if you get trapped there, terrible things can happen as well.
Yes.
Are you okay?
I'm fine. I don't really. It's the first combat from the bandits, and I understand why we did it, but I don't want that to happen again.
I normally don't like grouping individuals into categories and saying a lot of people are certain ways, but bandits chose their way of life.
We all make choices, but there is a reason behind every one. We don't know there is now.
I don't believe a choice that thrives on pushing others down, killing those that get in their way just because they want coin.
No, that was an easy way. I agree.
They don't have my sympathy.
I just don't feel that it was our right to kill them, is all. Death upon death doesn't resolve old death. It
Prevents
just
new
leaves
death,
more
though.
bodies. All the same, I would ask that next time we come up with a plan that if we are in do something as that again, that does not have much blood in it.
Kind of see him trail off for a moment. A reflection moment. Well, maybe if we solve the problems of strategy, find something that works, adhere to a plan, it'll be more potent next time.
How do you like the tea? With this new blend?
How do I like the tea, Matt? 'Cause it is
Um,
gone.
Brightwing, roll a nature check because why not?
Why not?
With advantage because it's in nature.
It's we're in nature. What That's the same roll. 2 9s. Plus 8. So 17. 17, I can do math.
That's pretty good. Kind of takes a little of the nastiness of the fight off.
A little bit earthy, but I like him.
I need to get more herbs. I haven't been gathering as much more.
Matt,
Mm-hmm.
would I know if Almara has an herb or tea shop?
Even if you didn't know of one specifically, you feel very confident that there would be at least one, probably multiple, throughout Ilmara.
You have some coins, right?
Yes. Though I gave some to a raccoon and to Clert, so I don't have as much as you gave me before.
I'll take you to a tea shop.
One of the most amazing sentences that has ever been said. Yes, but I gave some to the raccoons and Clert.
Don't even question it.
I don't use money.
We'll go to a tea shop.
Oh. That would be very interesting.
If we have time. I don't know how long we're going to be there.
Okay. I think the next few hours of our watch is just pretty chill.
Okay.
Maybe call some birds for us to feed.
Okay. Anybody else in the party have anything they want to do over the course of the night? On different watches? No. Okay. Night passes uneventfully, despite a lowish perception check. Next day arrives. I need someone who hasn't rolled it to roll a d20. Faye's arm was up first.
19.
19? Okay.
That could be bad or good.
True.
I
The
don't know. Can I do
gathering gray and clouds from the day before seem to have been brushed away by a beautifully sunny, bright, clear day. And travel is smooth, quiet, barring anything that you guys want to do, and passes without event or issue.
How far are we?
You are at least halfway there. The way you guys have been rolling, you might get there a little faster than typical, so... But you know that you're on the latter, closing in on the latter half of the journey now.
Can you let me know when we're like 2 days out?
Yes-ish. It somewhat depends on you guys. You're probably close to 2 days out at this point. Like, maybe end of the second day from now. You might get there, depending on how things go. Alright. If there's nothing anyone wants to do, a survival, an animal handling, and a charisma check from anyone who's not Fae. And the last person gets the perception check.
I'll do the perception check.
Okay.
I didn't.
Don't all speak up at once, guys.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I can really do reliably is survival, so.
Go for it.
It's an easy decision for me. They're all +0.
I can do whatever I want. What's yours, Jess?
What are the options? My dump
It
stat.
is now animal handling or charisma. Both eclipses strength.
do the charisma. Please
What
do
does
the
charisma do again? I forgot what the point was.
Morale.
Morale.
Morale?
Yeah, charisma
Yeah.
is about morale, and animal
Right.
handling is about the
Which-
speed and effectiveness of your cart.
I mean,
and
I've done
horse
animal handling, I think,
driving.
the most. I can keep doing it, but I think it'd be funny if
I want
Brightwing
to-
did.
All right,
Like,
Brightwing's taking charisma then, and Eclipse will take animal
I was
handling.
like, not the dump stat. Not the dump stat, please. Not the dump stat.
Tomorrow. There's always tomorrow.
It's a negative.
All right, roll away. Except for Yasnip.
That's a dirty 20 for animal handling.
Oh!
Which makes
Okay.
sense.
Eclipse has been around horses, and she put some horses in line. Okay.
11.
Okay.
12.
12. Okay.
Going up.
Okay.
Doing great. Everything's fine. This is great. Positive numbers.
Not terrible. Okay.
Oh, oh, oh.
What the hell?
Shiny dice.
I'm waiting for perception.
Yes.
Shiny
Um,
dice!
I would say after this day's travel and the way that it goes, Faye, you get the sense you probably will arrive on the second day from now. So not tomorrow, but the following day, unless things go haywire in some way.
So, like,
Which is
if I were to
possible.
call home tonight, I could feasibly say the day after tomorrow, or perhaps the morning after.
Probably.
Okay, I'll do that
Okay.
when we
Okay.
settle in,
Okay.
just to give a heads up. And I'll do 2, and I'll let Carlina know as well
Okay.
at the home,
Mm-hmm.
Please
the place with the
put the
family.
stuff in the things.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
So
All right.
head of the staff.
And who's the other one going to?
Who have I sent before? Did I?
It was
You
Rafe
sent to
before.
almost everyone.
Well, I can't remember if I've hit both Braun and Luke.
You have not hit Braun. He's the only brother you have not
Okay,
messaged.
so-
And your
so-
dad is the only other family member you haven't messaged.
That's intentional.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Ooh!
We don't
Alright.
address that.
Yeah. I'll send it to Braun
Okay.
because I would assume that him and Luke talk,
Yes.
and if they don't, then
Every day, pretty much.
literally every day.
Yeah. More than they'd like to, I'm sure.
Everybody
Mhm.
talks.
Okay.
everybody talks.
And one to Carlina, letting her know you guys are coming.
Yeah, and confirming that we had permission to use that.
Okay. Yes, you get a response that you do, and she's excited for you to be back.
Hmm.
Okay.
What does the
Yasnip,
brother
roll your
sound
perception
like, though?
check.
What's the brother?
We'll get there.
Damn it!
If Faye doesn't send a specifically worded message, I don't send a specifically worded reply. That's how it works.
Oh,
4.
But you might meet him in the
4?
city, who knows? 4!
4.
Amazing.
Oh,
no, we have to hear the voice. So
Oh shit.
just count me
We're
down.
backpedaling?
Yeah, it's fine. This is all the same time. Brunson. Good weather. Hopefully arriving the day after tomorrow, although maybe the morning after. Send the girls my love. See you soon.
Okay.
Thank you.
A few seconds later. Luke mentioned you might be coming. Looking forward to seeing you. As are the kids. Layla is quite a lot like you were. At this age. And probably still. See you soon.
You're an ant?
Several times over.
Oh, awesome.
Okay, and a 4 on the perception check. Does anybody want to do anything over watches? Okay. Day 4 complete. Day 5.
I'm gonna talk to a chipmunk, Matt. That's what I'm gonna do.
Bet.
Careful who the chipmunk is. You never know.
Brightwing talks to a
On these
chipmunk.
fucking words.
It can't be Alvin. He's a troublemaker.
It's a new one.
Okay. Day 5. Somebody roll a D20. Por favor.
I think it's Leah left.
Yeah, I haven't done it yet.
Oh boy.
A 5.
Oh fuck.
I think that's the third
That's
5.
That
yeah,
is the
that's the
third
third
Good
one.
thing we randomized
yeah.
after things are rolled. Okay.
Boy.
Okay. Another pretty clear day. You guys are making good time, and late into the afternoon, a little bit before sunset, you begin to see sort of on the horizon as you crest a hill, this huge wide blur of dark brown that seems to just spread across the road and into the hills even a little bit ahead of you.
Is it
Brightwing
moving?
roll. When you first see it, it just looks like the land has been painted with a swath of brown for some reason. Roll a
Okay.
perception check.
That's not very good. 11.
11. Wow,
Oh
that
no,
definitely
12.
is not
Sorry,
good for you.
12.
Okay. It takes another probably half hour, 45 minutes of travel before you begin to be able to make out what you're seeing. And I don't think you would have seen any of these before, probably. Brightwing. Everyone else would probably recognize. And what you do see, Brightwing, is a massive herd
Yes!
of some
I was
creature.
hoping for.
You're not sure exactly what, but everyone else, once you begin to recognize that it is a massive herd, it is not a leap at all to assume these are Cathian bison, which are huge. Like 8 feet tall to the shoulder, 12 plus feet tail to snout. Big horns. And they obviously travel in very large herds.
Do they
And
look like
one
water
thing
buffalo if they have horns?
a little bit, yeah, but
Regular bison have horns.
yeah, largely like bison, a little bit shaggier, dark brown, very big
Is
humps.
there a baby?
As you grow closer, do you want to look for a baby?
I want to look for
There-
a baby.
As you get close enough, like within maybe quarter mile, eighth of a mile, you begin to ascertain how many there are, and it is in the thousands, not the hundreds.
Oh my god.
So you are very confident there's probably some babies in there
It's a
somewhere.
migration.
It does seem to be somewhat of a migration. The one encounter you would have had with this concept, or with the Cathian bison in general, Brightwing, was not the creature, but the bacon that was part of the breakfast in Ilmara that you said you didn't want because you're vegetarian. But I believe Yasnip ate.
It was crispy goodness.
Yep. And as you begin to get much closer, it becomes quite clear that they are blocking the road to a very wide distance in both directions. And as you get much closer, you see maybe several hundred feet, maybe a couple hundred yards even, away from where the bison start, on the side of the road, what looks to be a family. You see a tabaxi, tabby cat sort of coloration family with what appears to be a father and a mother and 4 children.
Family.
And they look like they've been traveling. You see walking sticks, small packs on the older kids and the parents, and it seems to be in a bit of consternation about how they're supposed to get past this mess as you guys begin to approach on the road. They see you eventually.
Hello.
The dad speaks up. Bit of a problem on the road.
I hadn't
Don't-
noticed.
Yeah, I don't know how long it's gonna be. It's already been an hour.
Have I ever seen a
Unfortunately.
migration?
Well, you would know of migrations of various kinds of animals for sure.
Could I
Um,
kind of phrase how long this would take? Let them just do what they gotta do.
to move off the road.
Mm-hmm.
They don't, from what you can tell initially, they do not seem particularly in a rush.
Hmm.
And there are hundreds and hundreds still on the side that is not the direction they are roughly shifting, which is northward.
So how long?
So, could very easily be many hours.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Most likely would be in that range. And as you kind of pull up to where the family is, you see the kids looking bored and frustrated out of their minds.
They're on the worst Yellowstone road trip ever.
Oh no!
Somebody get that kid a fidget spinner.
No, for real.
I don't have any options for clearing this that wouldn't cause a stampede.
Yeah, I think that would be.
I could ask.
That- Definitely prefer for that not to be the case if we can
I
avoid
agree.
it.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Well, seeing as we're all stuck here, where are you headed?
Well, tempting to get to Ilmara.
Likewise.
If this clears up. Have you been traveling for a while?
Couple days. The cup
Hmm.
makes for easy travel. My friend can sometimes talk to creatures. I want to Brightwing.
Brightwing's already over there.
You towards
I
the
turn
creature?
around and she's
Okay.
on.
All of the kids are watching this happen intently. You're walking up to them?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'll cast Speak with Animals.
Okay.
I want 1,000 unique voices here, man. You said thousands.
Oh boy.
Every bison has to sound.
Ask
Yeah,
every one
different.
of their names, where they're from,
Where they're
what their
from.
10 minutes.
family is.
10 minutes.
I got multiple castings. I can do it. I can
Okay,
ritually
you-
cast it too.
You walk up and see the fringe bison appear to be perhaps a little bit of the more relatively tough ones, given that they are on the fringe
Mm-hmm.
and are probably intent on keeping the inner groups protected. They stop chewing on something they were chewing and look up at you.
Excuse me.
Yes.
I was wondering, would it be alright for us to pass while you are all grazing here so we can get by you?
Pass.
Mm-hmm. Our destination is that way, while your destination is the other direction.
You want to move through.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of glances past you, looks back at you. Are you hunters?
No.
No.
Yeah, interesting.
What's
I
Lucy
am-
doing?
Oh boy.
Right, stupid bear.
Do
I would
also
assume
have
hanging in the
passive
back
action?
behind the cart.
Yeah, Lucy is staying behind the cart chilling. She's
Okay.
not getting involved because she was explicitly told not to.
The kids would be ogling, but they're currently watching this small bird girl talk to Bison. I would say roll a deception check because some of you expressly, well, one of you, two of you, one of you and his mount are expressly hunters, but I legitimately think Brightwing doesn't probably
You get that?
like, yeah. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna say roll a persuasion check with advantage, given the fact that you're speaking to them, which is very unique to them.
Oh, that's good. 18.
18.
We'll be very fast.
Hmm. I will ask. And you see him, or you assume, turn inwards and start shambling forward, and you hear this chorus of.
But I can understand all of it, right?
You can. You hear like there's some weirdos out there. They're all different colors and shapes, but they say they want to come through. I don't even know how they're talking. It's kind of weird. They say they're not hunters, and I think that we can believe them. And there's like a little bit of dialogue in the front few. It takes like a good 4 or 5 minutes, and then the one that you spoke to originally comes ambling back. We can avoid you if you want to come through,
Thank you.
but do it quiet and don't threaten any kids, or things will go very, very bad.
Understood. Thank you very much. And I'll grow some like very fresh green grass.
Roll an animal handling check.
17.
Okay, he. You see his eyes get big.
It's marijuana.
Whoops. We're a day
He-
off, guys. Okay.
Is it actually?
No.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, it is.
Yes, please.
I was gonna say things could get very interesting.
Imagine.
To roll to see if he's paranoid.
You see him excitedly finish chewing and then turn back and get the sense that he thinks that you aren't necessarily listening because he doesn't really understand how this works, and starts telling all the bison nearby about how you made this incredibly delicious grass. But it seems you may have a passage through.
I'll back to the group. They'll let us pass. We just have to be very quiet and not bother any of them, especially the children. And they'll let us pass.
Did you talk to him?
Mm-hmm.
You see one of the middle-aged Tabaxi children. How'd you do that?
I've always been able to.
And you see she looks confused, and you see one of the younger ones, who looks maybe 6 or so, tugs on her sister's, because the first one was also seems to be a girl, tugs on her sister's skirt, and you see her, the rest of you see this, make a few motions with her hands, not say anything. And the older sister, Brightwing, you understand what she says. She says, "Is it magic?" And the older sister turns to you. "Is it magic?"
And I'll look at the little one and I go, yes. It's magic. Do you like magic?
Her eyes get massive. And the rest of the family also seemed a little startled to see you speak this way to her. And she signs back to you. "I've never seen it before."
And I'll grow a flower for her. A flower.
She takes it. Runs back to her mom. Shows her the flower. Seems very excited about all this.
No.
All right, you guys want to try to make your way through?
Yeah.
We get the kids into the cart for safety.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's
Sure.
okay.
They
I'll
all
walk
load
if
in.
it's too heavy, but
Okay. And Aedwin, you are going to ride Lucy?
No. I'm not gonna.
Okay.
Instead, I'm gonna kind of stand in front of Lucy.
Okay.
And just sort of guide her through the nonsense with the intention of trying to keep her from pulling anything stupid.
Okay. I am going to have
Blinders.
you roll
Yes,
an animal
blinders.
handling check for Lucy.
For Lucy.
Yes.
Okay.
This is a
Cool.
attempt to not be a predator
Uh-huh.
check.
Yeah.
Can I
Guidance?
channel the owl.
You could give her
Guidance.
guidance if you wanted to. You see Aedwin kind of like talking with Lucy and giving her a please don't eat any bison and don't freak out while we go through here speech. So I would say you could do that if you wanted to.
Is this a point when I summon Flock of Familiars and get a bunch of weasels and just have them like hover over her eyes?
I was gonna say, can I
Like
get like
blinders?
a blanket and just like kind of give her?
Could I use
We're trying to help.
and make
We're
the
trying to
smell of
help.
jerky from the back of the cart
Okay.
just to give
Okay.
her a distraction?
That also might just like freak her out more.
Yeah, don't do it. Don't do it.
Um,
What I will say is you can certainly do that. She's going to she starts to quickly when you do that come up very expectant for jerky.
Whoa. Hold on. Not until after we get through, and only if you're good. I know it's really frustrating, but trust me, there's gonna be a lot of it once we get through this.
Okay.
But don't cause any trouble. Understood? Go.
I will
do
say-
that.
I will say with the assistance from multiple members of the party, you can roll your animal handling for Lucy with advantage and you have guidance from Brightwing.
Perfect. Boy. Okay. It's a 14.
Okay. The DC was a 12.
Oh,
So
okay.
that is good enough.
Ah!
All right. You guys start to make your way through. Brightwing,
Mm-hmm.
as soon as you reach the front, which I would assume you'd probably be at the front,
Yeah.
all of the nearby bison that are on either side are coming up to you very physically.
Once they want grass.
Yes, it certainly seems they do. And your Speak with Animals has probably run out during the process of getting everyone ready and loading all the kids up and stuff.
I'll ritually cast it while we're waiting then.
Okay, you can do that. While everybody's getting loaded up, you can cast it again so it restarts. They all come up to you. You have grass?
I can make grass. Are you able to help move out of the way?
Sure.
All right, and I'll kind of guide them with the grass to help clear a path
Okay.
for us.
It is initially maybe a little bit somewhat counterproductive because they are all coming to you, but then as the message begins to pass of how this works, you come to the nice girl, she gives you some grass, and then you get out of their way. It begins to like be a parting of the Red Sea situation, and you're able to make your way through. It takes several minutes, probably actually close to half an hour, to get all the way through. But you come out the other end unscathed. Lucy probably needed a few pieces of jerky throughout that process, but everybody makes it through. That was incredible. Thank you all. Very helpful. I suppose good luck on your journey. And she kind of, the mother, this is, kind of looks at the horses and the fact that this family is on foot and understands you guys will get ahead of them.
Do you Need a ride the rest of the way.
I don't imagine we would say no. She looks to her husband. I don't see why not either, as long as you all are trustworthy, I assume. Not going to try to rob us in the night, not that we have anything worth robbing.
I would hate to leave you out, knowing that you're out here without, I don't know, some kind of, knowing that we had the option to help and we didn't take it.
Ooh!
If everybody's okay with that. And I'm gonna kind of look at Yasna and Brightwing.
I think Brightwing's probably talking to the little girl inside.
Okay.
But she's not even paying attention to the conversation.
If that's all right with everyone, it would save us a good bit of trouble and the kids a good bit of tired feet.
We were without a cart once. That's the least we can do.
We appreciate it. And looks up to the kids. We're taking a bit of a ride, kids. And they all cheer. They're very happy to not be walking.
Sweet.
Rest of the day passes clear.
I'm gonna spend the whole day quietly teaching the kids innocent swears.
Yes!
Amazing! Roll a stealth check.
That is the best fucking thing I've ever heard.
Heck.
That's the first one where they're like,
16.
16, okay.
Stupid.
It does not seem you're noticed by the parents.
One says crap a little too loud.
Yeah, that's the vibe.
Okay. We need one of each of the checks. Not at any sort of penalty given your handling of the bison.
Oh boy.
Who wants to roll? Everybody's
Survival.
got it. Okay, Yasnav's taking survival.
I'll take the charisma, but the check will just be in that vein.
Mm-hmm.
Teaching Brightwing and the children if she'll accept very innocent like ways to tell people to shove off, but in like culturally appropriate ways.
Okay.
I love it.
like tell them that they've only got 2 brain cells, but that they're competing for 3rd place.
Oh shoot. Okay.
Things like that.
I like
I
it.
love it.
It's just like, what?
Well, they could not pour water out of a boot if the instructions were written on a heel.
Mm-hmm.
These are so good.
Why would water be in a boot?
That's why you would want it out, right?
True.
Or tell them that you want both sides of their pillow to be warm eternally.
Fucking brutal.
Okay.
oh,
I will say, Faye, roll your charisma check with advantage.
Okay.
And somebody needs to take the animal handling. Eclipse, I
Okay.
saw your hand go up. I'm counting that
I
as
was
a raised
just like,
hand.
it's the same
Nope,
score for
you're
both
rolling
of
it.
us. I guess. Alright, here we go. Yeah. Oh wow. It's a 14 total.
Okay.
Alright.
Faye?
I got a 16.
Okay. Yasnit?
7.
7. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. And Adwin, you got the perception check.
Can I, just as like a passive note, with all their stuff, if I notice anything that like they need to have washed or anything like that, can I offer the bag to let them clean stuff up?
The OxyClean?
All of them are quite dirty and somewhat stinky for the ones who've gone through puberty, at least.
Okay.
So
Oh,
they
But if they have any like
They
cloaks
could-
or anything that's like basic needing to be clean, like mess kits or something random,
Yeah.
like
you could
things
certainly
like
help
that.
with that.
okay.
Sure.
I'll let him like mess with
Uh,
it, like I'll hold it open and just shake it.
Man, your guys' perception checks do be struggling. Okay. All the kids are very curious and inquisitive about all of you. And Ellie, which you learn to be the name of the one who's signing Brightwing, spends a good amount of the time talking to you in sign. And you do come to notice, as she communicates with other members of the family, the whole family can speak it as well. Anything anybody wants to do through this night besides help this family clean their stuff?
So
I'll just say, for visual purposes, Brightwing's sign name is this. So they ask. I don't know what Ellie's would be, but
probably spells it.
But I would
Okay.
say it's probably a different sign language between the two of them. So, but with similar connotations that they can understand each other. It's not word for word the same, but the movements are the same in regards that you could figure it out.
You probably spend a good amount of the time learning some of the things that she says that are different and vice versa, and she's very curious about them. Sometime probably just before like bed late, so like after the sun has gone down, Eadwyn, you are sitting by the fire, not doing much, and you suddenly hear a voice in your head.
Motherfucker. Yeah.
Trusting you're alive. Updates on the assassinations. Possible lead on responsible parties. If you make it to Ilmara anytime soon, stop by the Conclave. You know this to be Rylus.
Uh-huh.
Seems he has some similar capabilities to some other members of your party.
Monk that
And you can
ascended.
respond.
Not just a month.
How far out?
Yeah. Interesting.
You would imagine you might get there mid to late tomorrow, depending on how things go, but most likely tomorrow.
Funny you mention that. We'll be in town tomorrow. Well, we should have stopped by.
Okay. All right. Night otherwise passes uneventfully once again. And you guys have a pretty big sized group now, so you are imposing to things that might otherwise be problematic. Stay six? Is it day 6? Day
I would say,
Yes.
like,
Go for it.
as soon as I hear that message, like, you know that monk that we met back in Sofeld, right?
Hmm?
Yeah, he's got info. Like, real info about everything that's going on in the world.
Do I need to send him a message?
No, he's expecting us to come in. I told him we'd be in tomorrow, that we'd stop by the Conclave. Whatever he's got, it's important enough to message me about it, so
Okay.
let's make an effort to stop in.
We'll make time.
Okay. Night's rest goes without a hitch.
I think for
Next.
Funzy, Brightwing's doing both controlled flames and thaumaturgy on the campfire for the kids,
Okay.
making it fun.
I'm like using prestidigitation to like make a breeze like along the backs of their necks
Okay.
and like little
We could-
sparks and stuff.
Yeah, we could maybe it's like a storytelling time where Brightwing's like telling a story using the flames to like tell the
Or
story.
we could do like an improv where like we each tell one line of a story
Yeah.
and see where it goes and like just yes and it just turns into the wildest thing.
I'll control the
Okay.
backdrops because I can't make things move.
Yeah.
Nice. Initially, you see a little bit of hesitation, not necessarily concern, but just this is a lot from the parents. But as things go on, and they see your guys' good-naturedness and how much the kids are enjoying it, they relax quite a bit and seem happy to have had you guys join in and help. Next day. I need someone to roll a d20. This back to the beginning, because you guys have all rolled one.
Who goes first?
Edwin.
Fuck. Oh, lucky number 13.
Okay.
None of them mean anything.
Who knows?
God, I hope not.
Okay.
Ancient white dragon.
Well,
True.
I would like to not TPK with a fucking family in our midst.
I'm gonna dig a hole and put the last block above me and disconnect.
Yep.
That's the end of that.
Early morning comes with a light drizzle. Nothing intense. Not a storm by any means, but a little bit of a drizzle. And then as the day goes on, it begins to clear up a little bit, and it's kind of that post-light rain, sunbeams breaking through clouds here and there sort of thing. It's actually pretty beautiful. Nothing to severely slow you guys. The kids actually probably have a good bit of fun jumping down out of the cart into puddles as the late morning progresses. And around 3-4 in the afternoon, what has been very flat landscape is finally broken. You see, not sure yet how far, but seemingly a good ways away, a large bluff or chunk of flattened mountain. Sort of like a more vertical mesa. It's driving up from the plains and creating a clear focal point of attention on the otherwise flat and unbroken horizon. This happens maybe around 3 that you begin to see this. Another mile or two, and more detail begins to emerge on and around this towering break in the topography. You begin to make out, and this is maybe you figure an hour out or so, maybe less, 45 minutes. Tall, grand, white-gray walls that curve to meet with the base of this massive bluff on the side that you're approaching from. And outside those walls, as you come from the northwest, you see sloping down from the raised land on which the walls are built a vast, sprawling cityscape, stretching for thousands of feet to the east and west, and a few thousand feet towards you from the walls. You see hundreds of buildings, mostly made of stone, not particularly colorful, pretty gray. And as you begin to come closer, homes, taverns, places of business, temples, some towers that rise above the general expanse of this portion of the city, though nowhere near the heights reached by the bluffs that, as you grow closer, tower well above. You're craning your neck to see. And as you get close enough to where this angle is becoming intense, your eyes travel back to those tall walls and the point where they meet the base of these massive bluffs. And from where you are, and most of you have seen this, in fact, I think all of you have probably seen this, so you probably know, the bluffs at their highest rise roughly 700 feet from the base of the walls and are dotted throughout with decor, buildings, other bits and pieces of man-made structure around and atop the flattened peak. And from your angle of approach, which is northwest, you can just make out, carved into the curving, smooth, white-gray stone face of the bluffs to the west, the massive sigil of the Kathian Republic, more than 100 feet across in its own right, carved into the side of this bluff, depicting a curved horizontal arc met in the middle by a vertical line with a singular star at the intersection point, and 2 more stars near the outer edges of the arc, and then 2 more stars spanning down the vertical line, 5 in total.
Like a
Most
crossbow?
of you, kind of like a vertical crossbow. Most of you recognize this to be the symbol of the Khaing Republic. Brightwing, probably not. But with the sun growing low in the west and it sort of glinting off of this, you see the stone face of this bluffs. You see massive shadow that's cast over the inner city beyond the walls, which you can't even really see yet from your angle. But the shadow you can see heading down and hitting tall towers and things like that. But sunlight brilliantly highlighting the carved symbol of the Republic and the glittering architecture atop the very highest of these bluffs. This is the city of Ilmara. And I assume you guys are going to make your way into the main city through the walls, but it is largely up to you. You are entering through the northern wide ward, which is that sprawling bit of dark gray structured cityscape.
We would have gathered, I'm sure by now, the names of the family.
You would have, yes. The dad's name is Albert. The mom's name is Hattie. Their last name is McBride. And the kids are Simon, Leah, Ellie, which is the one that signs, and Calvin.
I have a city named after me and an NPC.
That's great.
This one's technically not spelled like yours is, but yes.
Where do you need to be dropped off at? Is it...
Oh. We'll probably stay in a tavern in the wide ward. At
Okay,
least for tonight.
sure.
So, and you guys are probably nearly entering it at this point. Really here is fine, I suppose. You have places to be.
I think our next stop might be the Horizon District, so this might be a safe place to leave you.
You see the parents' eyes get big at that. They don't say anything, but they just nod. Thank
what
you
did you
so
say?
much for your help.
I said our next stop was the Horizon District, so this may be a good place to park.
Oh. Out of curiosity, Matt, do they look like middle class, low class? Like, where do they look like they sit in terms of being well off?
Probably on the higher side of lower, like they were farmers or, cobblers or something like that.
Does it look like silver would make their life better?
Given the state of their clothing and the fact that this is a massive city where kids like to do fun things that cost money, yes, you do get the get the sense or could imagine that some silver might make their life better, yes.
I'm gonna pull 5 gold out of my pocket, put it in a very small
Damn.
bag, and I'm gonna hand it to the parent.
Okay.
It's probably more than you really need, but just so they have a...
You've already done so much for us.
I already had a bag with like small coins.
Get out.
I was just gonna sneak
No, it's
it
mine.
into one
Let
of
me
the
do it.
kids' pockets.
No, let me do it.
Brightwing hands over all of her money.
But yeah, I handed it.
Okay.
So.
They are a bit thrown off and almost speechless, but thank you. We'll remember you all for sure. What did you say your name was again? The group?
The Twilight Heralds.
Good to know. We really appreciate everything.
It's
Thank
the
you.
least we...
Hey,
Okay.
Brightwing.
Hmm?
How do you say goodbye?
With the
It's the same as hello. Pretty standard. Yeah. You could say see you later. Do this. Go into an L. See you later.
The little girl is doing all these things as Brightwing does them. And then when
I'll,
you do them...
I'll do it, but I'll also put the mage hand up to do the same.
No.
Okay.
Perfect.
She giggles,
Love.
does it back. And you guys leave them here?
Yep.
Okay. And Faye, you're taking lead here?
We didn't discuss whether or not there was space at the house for the cart and the horses. I'm assuming we would have something for that.
Yes, you definitely would.
Yeah, so we'll go there to deposit
Okay.
our belongings since it's still
Okay.
afternoon.
All right. You begin to learn as you walk through this first district, which the Northern Wide Ward is, before even reaching the walls, how large the city of Ilmara is. It takes a good 20 minutes, half an hour to even reach the walls. And once you do and make it through the gate, you see the expanse of the main city before you, and it is jaw-droppingly huge. All of you have been here, Brightwing very briefly, as you traveled through, and you were only in the Dawn Burrows, which is where you now are. The lower section of the city beneath the bluffs. And you begin to make your way through.
Yeah,
Faye,
I
you
would
would know.
say
Go ahead.
Brightwing's probably staying next to Yasnip at this time, and you can tell that she's starting to get kind of overwhelmed. She was here before, but now she's kind of understanding how expansive it is.
Mm-hmm.
Way more than she's really used to.
The Dawn Burrows in general are like a step up from the outer wide ward that you just traveled through, in terms of architecture, affluence, but still more of like a middle class area of the city, so nothing particularly crazy. As you get closer to the center, which is where Faye is leading you, you do begin to see some of the more affluent portions of this lower area, and you catch sight of, as you begin to make your way towards the center and the face of the bluff begins to open to you, the two, you can see from this angle now, large bluffs, one a few hundred feet up and then a few hundred feet further up the top of the highest bluff, and tumbling down from that bluff, a massive waterfall, the Raya Falls, which you would all be familiar with, except Brightwing, who's not here, into the pool in the center of the, or the lake in the center of the city. And as you get closer to that area, also can make out the Sapphire, which catches your eye, Faye. The casino that forms sort of the heart of bustling activity and the more higher end areas of the Dawn Burrows, that is sort of just below the first massive bluff. And you would lead them to the... Get out of here. Dawn Burrows Skylift Hub. And when you reach there, and as you're approaching, all of you can see these small cart-like things. They are fully enclosed and are traveling, you cannot tell by what means, up these heavily corded wires, up towards the first bluff, and then up from there towards the second bluff, almost out of sight. It's so high. Yes.
I would have at some point, either before or during this, just undid the cord around my neck and quietly put the signet ring back on my little finger, on my right
Okay.
hand.
Okay. Upon arriving at the hub, you find what is essentially what we would know to be a small train station. It has very much that vibe or atmosphere, with a kiosk, a waiting area, some loading areas, and above your heads you watch as a series of these carriages continuously ride their way up and down these long sloped track-like cords, and all but disappearing in the mists of the Raya Falls as they crash down from the top of the bluffs towards the center of the city. There are no wheels or pulleys that you can see on these tracks, but the entire length glows with a slight purplish blue aura, and the carriages seem almost to hover, riding the tracks on what appear to be some sort of arcane tethers. As you reach the loading areas, as the carriages reach the loading areas, they slow to allow people on and off, and you notice pretty quickly most of the people taking them are more well-dressed, aristocratic-looking folks. You will need to book passage up, as you well know, Faye, and it costs 5 copper pieces per rider to take the skylift to the first bluff. You guys all pay up?
I'll go up.
How much money does Lucy cost?
Oh heavens!
And the cat, like, is it
And the
just
cart,
humans?
yeah.
Like if we
No,
have
no,
like,
no.
We've got the cart, right?
Some of
So, I
these,
mean,
some of these are quite
Okay.
large. They
Okay.
look like they're meant for people who come on horses or whatever it may be. So with a cart, 2 horses, and an owl bear, and 5
horses.
party members, 3 horses. You figure that you will probably be pretty crammed into even the largest one, but it looks feasible.
How much for all
and-
of us?
The lady who's at the kiosk looks at the owl bear.
that's not going to be a problem, is it?
I would ask you the same question, I suppose.
Are you showing the ring?
Mhm.
Oh ho ho.
Is it well mannered?
Very. It speaks common.
All right, miss. I think it'll likely be a silver piece for the bear, and a silver piece for the cart as well.
I'll just slide 2 gold over, and will this cover it?
Of course. Takes it, hands you a bunch of tickets, and tells you what area to go to, and eventually you see this, the largest of the carriages you've seen, and they are varying sizes, pull up and come to a slow, and a attendant pulls a lever, doors open.
I would say
They're
as for-
staring at your group, and especially the owl bear,
I would
very
say,
unabashedly.
As we're going up, I look at Lucy and I say, "You hear that, girl? We're all worth 5 copper, but you're worth a whole silver." Yeah.
The attendant's eyes grow a little wider at her making these sounds. You all get on board?
Yes.
Okay.
And I'll give her some jerky and say, I'd have paid a gold.
The doors close, the lift starts riding, and it is incredibly smooth. You can hardly even tell it's moving from feel, but begin to see out the glass. It is heavily glass, so that you can see the views. You are moving and moving upwards. This is Brightwing, the first time you have even seen something like this, let alone ridden on it.
Brightwing's like both very like scared that we're so high, but also being like, I gotta see it.
Okay.
Can
and
I
as
jump?
you begin to, you can jump.
No, don't you dare!
I don't
You
weigh
want
very
to
much.
jump?
Yes.
Okay. Roll an athletics check just for fun.
Oh my god. the worst person.
Here
Oh,
comes
I
the nat
have a
20.
positive because of half proficiency. Here we go.
Nat 20.
It's
There it is.
it's a 4.
Okay.
Okay. Faye jumps, lands, and you all just a hair of feel a shift, but it is not a jolt. It is almost like a wave. It seems to very easily react, and as Lucy kind of paws around a little bit, it sort of does the same.
A safe.
Holy motorcycle. Does not make that sound. It is very quiet. And as you begin to ride upwards, you begin seeing a unbelievable view of the Dawnburrows below, the plains to the east, and above you still the mists of the Raya Falls and the higher bluff. And you make your way up to this first bluff. 3.5 minutes or so, and you reach a new hub, the Mercari Skylift hub, on the Mercari Wedge, which is the first bluff, several hundred feet off the ground. And looking down below, it is a freaking massive drop, but this thing seems relatively safe and secure as far as you can tell. This hub, as you pull into it, seems a little more complex and busy than the one in the Dawnburrows. And as it includes lifts that go both up to the Horizon District and down to the Dawnburrows, it's larger in general. Additionally, as you reach kind of crest over the bluff and pull into this hub, you quickly notice this bluff appears to be the heart of commerce in Ilmara. Typically, your eye would be immediately drawn to your eye would be immediately drawn to and held by this massive vertical structure of wood and metal at the heart of the bluff that is arranged sort of in the shape of a pie, a few hundred feet in diameter, with one piece missing that is what faces towards you in the hub, and stacked 5 levels high to a height of more than 100 feet and bustling with activity. This is what gives you the sense of commerce here. From your vantage point, you see what appeared to be dozens of shops, stalls, crafting areas, restaurants, cafes. It appears to be, by all intents and purposes, a mall of some kind, bustling with proprietors and patrons who are being ferried up and down the levels of this structure that you see by small, solely vertical, unlike the one you're riding, versions of the skylifts. This, as some of you would know, is the Magna Market. That would be the focus of your attention. However, very close to, maybe about 150 feet from the hub where you pull into, you see 2 looming shapes. Beautifully carved wood, curving into the elegant form of a pair of ships, roughly 100 feet long each, crested throughout by several small sails and flanked by long rows of what look almost like winged oars on either side of the hulls. Anyone who wants to roll a perception check.
Keeping it rolling with the 7.
I rolled a natural 1.
14.
Oh my
11.
gosh.
But 1 sec.
22.
Wow! Okay. Faye and Adwin, you would be the only ones to pick out the names, but all of you see the general shapes and colors. One is painted in silver and white, looks very formal and official in its design, and bears the name Arania. Do any of you speak Elvish? Actually, does only Faye or Adwin speak Elvish? Because you're the only one who pick out the
Can you
name.
spell that for me?
Hold.
I'm just curious.
Faye, as one of the only people who pick out the name, you speak Elvish also.
I speak Elvish, yes.
Wow, the two who see it can both speak Elvish. You know this to mean freedom in Elvish.
Could you spell it?
It's
I
in
just put
it's
it
in
in
chat.
the
Oh,
Aanthara
thank you. I'm
discussion.
sorry. Thank you.
You see the name Arania and the seal of the Kathian Republic as well on this ship. The other is painted in a deep reddish-hued mahogany color, accented throughout with what looks like rose gold striations and ornaments and filigree. This one has much less of a formal, official, simplistic design and more of a beauty design. And it bears the name the two of you would see, Renelia, with an R that is drawn in ornate and artistic calligraphy, where the long line of the R looks like the bow of a ship, and the rounded part and sort of whatever this would be, diagonal, appear to be a blooming rose on a winding stem. Both ships are docked in port, hundreds of feet off the ground, seemingly floating in midair against the backdrop of the Raya Falls and the rising bluff of the district above, which you have not yet reached. Beyond the sky ships, docked in the port, and the Magna Market, which towers up a short walk onto the bluff, you see a sprawling district of heavily packed, highly vertical buildings filling out the rest of the bluff's surface. The architecture definitely looks a bit more ornate than most of what you saw in the Dawn Boroughs, and especially out in the Northern Wide Ward where you entered outside the walls, and appears to contain businesses, homes, small parks, a number of well-kept paths that snake through, lined with delicate fencing, well-trimmed trees and bushes. This is the Mercari Wedge. And now that you're up here, you begin to make out from this elevated angle the tops of graceful towers, domes, bridges, and more, peeking up over the edge of the highest bluff of Ilmara, another 300 feet up, from which the falls are pouring down to the city below. And your carriage comes to a small pause, and an attendant comes, opens the door. Are you continuing up?
Yes.
Or exiting here? All right. Looks at the owl bear, side eye, pulls the lever again to close the door. Everybody is very thrown off by this creature. And your group is pretty unique in its own right. And you see some of the lifts that are now continuing upwards. Yours seems to be a middle ground one that can go both ways. But several of the ones that continue upwards are clearly more richly constructed. Not to say the others were shabby by any means, but these lifts are beautifully decorated, well polished, and intended to be more presentary in themselves than the more functional lifts of the lower district. And you begin to ride again, smooth, quiet, upwards. Roughly 2.5 minutes towards this higher bluff, another 300 feet up and 700 above the Dawn Boroughs below. As you ride, you begin to lose the detail of the city below. You're so high, and the views of the countryside beyond are incredible, and beginning to be kissed with the light of sunset as you are getting very close to it at this point. And then at one point on this part of the ride, you actually pass behind the Raya Falls, and water and mist scatters across the glass of your carriage, but does not seem to stick. It wicks off immediately, leaving everything clear. And when you eventually crest the edge of the bluff, you are met with a dazzling view of luxury and grandeur. You see thin, tall spires of alabaster white stone piercing the sky above and around, large, sprawling mansions, cathedrals, rooftop gardens. You see sparkling waterfalls cascading down, beautifully sculpted outcroppings of rock, elegant bridges spanning between towers that are 50 or more feet off the ground, colorful banners, strings of softly glowing lights that are beginning to peek on as the sun begins to set, that hang along or between tall white walls that sort of arc through each other and the district here, separating neighborhoods or bordering the grounds of some estate or property. This is very clearly a place of affluence and importance, whether religious, political, social, all of the above. It gives a very strong impression. Brightwing, it is quite easily the highest peak of civilization, no pun intended, that you have ever seen.
Yeah. I will also
This
say
is
with
the
that
Horizon District.
with that natural
ahead.
1 on that
Mhm.
perception, I would say that's due to the fact that she, with her animal instinct, she hears more than everyone else and she sees more, so she's definitely more overwhelmed because there's just a lot more sounds here and a lot more things. So she's trying to
Okay.
get pretty overstimulated that way.
For sure. Faye, you know the routes to take. You all disembark from the carriage. The hub here is a good distance onto the bluff, lest you step out next to the edge and see the drop down below, which is incredibly far. But then many paths begin to snake away, and you know the one to take. Faye leads you all down several winding roads and wide streets, always and constantly earning several extended glances from passersby that seem very curious about your group, your attire, your owl bear, or simply because they are the unnecessarily intrusive, snobby types. You're not entirely sure, but you gain a lot of looks. You walk
Just give
past.
him one of these, like,
Yeah. Yep. You walk past fountains featuring impossibly well-carved statues of heroes or creatures. You see towers and arches jutting up from roadside buildings to heights that nearly cause you to fall over backwards as you crane your neck to find the tops. As you move through the district, you catch sight of a huge curved building nearer to what seems the center of the bluff, with dozens of imposing pillars of white stone standing vigil around the long arc of what some of you know to be the Crescent House, the seat of the Kathian government, including Parliament. You see more than one grand building marked with religious iconography that appear to be temples. You also catch sight of a series of domes, curved towers, and soaring arches peeking up over the nearby landscape made of a darker gray stone than most of the rest of this district, marbled throughout with veins of bright white, and carved into a couple archways and more clearly visible on several dark gray and white banners and flags. You see a symbol of what looks to be a swirling gust of wind splitting across a circle, which probably most of you would recognize and remember to be the symbol worn by Rylus on his headband. This is the Conclave, the headquarters of the Shaded Wind in Kathos. It's up to you, Faye and the group, whether you want to detour to there or get to where you're taking them before night reaches. There's not necessarily a rush either way, so it's up to you.
Could I ask before we make the decision that we get a break soon?
How about we get the decision and then we'll take a break.
Okay, thank you.
Where do you guys want to go? Do you want to go? Faye, I would say this is largely up to you, unless anyone speaks up.
We told him we'd be here today.
Yeah.
You said you'd arrive in the city today.
If we wanted to let him know that we were here, and then we'd stop by later, or we could stop by now, that's kind of,
I mean, I'm sure they've got facilities or some kind of a holding area.
They'd have to, yeah.
Yeah,
They've got
yeah.
too many people coming in and out.
Let's see if they've got time. I mean, they're busy. We could let them know that we're here. I'm assuming. I mean, Edwin, I know you need some time with the sword, so I kind of figured we maybe spend 2 nights here. Today and tomorrow. So we've probably got all day tomorrow, if that's more convenient for them. But I'd like to check in. I think their information is important. The house can wait. It's just a place to sleep.
We need to determine what kind of information we're going to be offering to them.
Don't know if it's two-way street.
You said it was an offer of information, right? Like he
said that he had. things for us. I don't know if he's expecting anything from us.
The last time he was quite probing.
True.
I would expect nothing less from somebody of this sort.
Then we tell him exactly what we've told everybody else. I don't see any reason to trim any of the fat. Unless...
I feel like they're pretty official. I don't think more people having this information, more powerful people having this information, could necessarily be a bad thing, but we could also get a vibe. I mean, we trust Rylus to an extent. We've met him, but we've only just met him.
I need a vibe.
Yeah, I need a... Oh, yeah, exactly.
Fair enough. We'll play it by ear.
Yeah, we'll detour.
Okay, you guys are going to detour to the conclave.
Correct.
Okay. You begin to head that direction, and we will take a break. And pick up there in 6 minutes and 14 seconds.
Oh shit.
Columbus, Ohio.
Oh! We've
There
been
you
on a
go.
streak of getting actual area codes, I feel like.
Yeah, it's been pretty good.
All right.
What?
All right, Twilight Heralds, you cut your way as you notice the Brishivian conclave peeking up over the rest of the city, off of the path initially intended by Faye, and towards this grouping of buildings. As you continue towards it, you pass a number of what seem like governmental buildings, kind of official in their structure and design. Symbol of the Kathian Republic on a lot of them. At one point, passing one of these buildings, can I have everybody... Actually, can I have Yasnip roll a perception check?
$17.
17. Okay, can I have everybody but Yasnip and Brightwing take off their headphones briefly?
Secrets.
The two of you, probably for slightly different reasons, maybe, but are taking in a ton of what you're seeing, and there is a lot of it. And at one point, as you pass one of these more official-looking buildings, you see sort of this poster board type thing that is covered in announcements, election paraphernalia, what seem to be job postings, and what seem to be a few, for lack of a better term, wanted posters. Brightwing, with your passive perception, you would notice this. And Yasnip, with your Yasnipness, you would notice this, and with your perception check. You see a poster that has on it a picture of a Verdun that looks very familiar to you, Brightwing. And as
You're
familiar
a criminal!
as you can get to you, Yasnip, and that has the name below it, Nas Peaches. And a second picture on the same sheet of a sort of heavy-set, half-elven looking woman with bright red hair and freckles with the name Delona Venfine below it. And without drawing attention and stepping aside, you just glance as you pass and can quickly read some script on the lower part of it that says, "Wanted for questioning in connection with a crashed skyship and missing cargo. Report information and or whereabouts to Kathian authorities or to officials under any branch of the Trivanian Accord. 25 gold piece reward for valuable reports."
Sorry, Kathian, one more time. Information.
To Kathian authorities or to officials under any branch of the Trivanian Accord. 25 gold piece reward for valuable reports. You see this in passing. I will ask everyone to bring their headphones back unless you want to exchange something quickly.
I think Brightwing just kind of gives Yasnip a look at it, but really does try just to like not do anything. It just gives you a look of like,
I don't know if Yasnip would see her look at him. He just kind of fixates on it for a good moment. Maybe stops and starts walking again.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. You guys continue your journey. Doesn't take too long, maybe 10-15 minutes of walking before you approach on a raised plot of land near the center of the Horizon District with a long series of steps that lead up to what looks to be a main entrance, the Brishivian Conclave. which is a series of buildings, which I described previously, that are all sort of bundled together in this tight space, surrounded by one of those large, tall white walls that seem to separate many of the smaller areas within this district, and a number of the symbols that you had seen on Rylus, which it signifies to you that this is where you intended to arrive. You climb the stairs, I assume, to the main entrance.
Yes.
There's a large open archway, no door, and it leads into a pretty big atrium sort of area with a vaulted ceiling, several columns, and walls covered in murals that seem to depict the history, some of you would pick up some of it, of Aanthara, Kathos, Ilmara, and then a bunch of what appear to be monks in similar garb to Rylus throughout. You assume to be these are records of the Shaded Winds history. And from the atrium, you see a series of hallways and corridors that lead to various rooms and chambers throughout the conclave. And there is a sort of large curved desk near the middle. And you see a what looks to be halfling woman with curly black hair seated at this desk.
Hello.
Can I help you?
Probably.
We're here to speak with Rylus Tyrael.
Ah, are you acquaintances of his?
Yes, he's actually expecting our arrival.
Understood. I will have him fetched. And she snaps. You see what looks to be a younger monk run over. What is your name? Will he recognize if...
Let him know that Eadwin and his group have arrived.
Eadwin and his group are looking for Shadeseer Tyrael. If you could fetch him. He nods, runs off. About 6-7 minutes go by. You guys sort of awkwardly stand amidst this atrium before you see the small boy, or young man, jogging back, and behind him, Rylus, whose hands are sort of crossed within his sleeves, sees you all. Rather good timing. Thank you. He nods to the boy and the woman at the desk. Follow me. I'll take us somewhere to talk. You follow him? Okay. He leads you down a series of these corridors that you saw that break off. And as you go, you see like clearing areas with gardens. You see areas that look like training grounds with some monks wielding various things, doing exercises. You pass some rooms that are closed door, not sure what would be in them, and some areas that look to be like reading rooms or study rooms, and eventually he brings you to one of these closed doors, opens it, ushers you in. You find what seems to be mostly simple study room kind of area. No one else in it. Closes the door. And there's a series of chairs and a table. Things have gone smoothly for you, I assume? You're here safely.
About as smoothly as it could have, all things considered.
I suppose might do me some good to hear an update. If you had any success in what you were doing, then I can share what I have.
Certainly. And
You recount.
Begin to recount everything.
Anything specific you
No bottle.
withhold?
No,
We don't
Huh?
mention the bottle.
We don't
No
mention the
Arya
bottle.
knew.
No
Never
bottle.
again.
No
Never
bottle.
again.
Never again.
Yeah, no Arianu.
No Arya knew. Okay.
I feel like it's almost similar to what we told the mayor,
Mhm.
Yeah.
just not as personal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is a more like official thing. And while I'm guessing Adrian's the one explaining it, I'm gonna lean over to Yasmin and be like, "Do we tell him we have a name now, or like?"
Feels forced, you know?
Yeah, I will. Just okay.
It's like, what do you, by the way, we have a name now. Like,
Yeah, there's like
Eventually your story concludes, and he pipes in various times throughout, asking questions, clarifying on things.
just still doing the.
I think we probably
Yes.
show the children's documentation.
Okay. Yeah, you still have those? Sure.
Playsons is not in that.
yeah.
Okay. Glasson's is not in there, but you show the rest of the kids. Okay. Yes, throughout this entire recounting, he is tracing in the air with his right finger.
I think
Seemingly writing.
When we show the kids, we also specify that we have not heard the condition of the twins. We have checked in with the shifter, and we
Or
did
the
check in.
We did not hear back from the Ardkel
We
boy.
didn't hear back. Okay, so we'll mention the two we didn't hear back from, and like just specifically mention that we don't know their condition.
Would you allow me to make copies of these?
By all means, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll have it done. I don't suppose you can leave them here overnight.
I
If you
don't
could
see an issue.
have Akoria bring them to the estate tomorrow, that would be fine.
Where specifically?
The Rosewood estate.
Do you know what that symbol means?
No.
Which symbol? Sorry.
The four compass
one in the
with
bottom.
pentagon?
Mm-hmm.
Insight check.
Roll an insight check.
Yes. Oops, 16.
It was bad. It was really bad.
It's bad. It was a 29.
It's an 8.
16 for me.
16 for
12.
you? 12?
Yeah.
Okay.
But my passive is 19.
Yes, I understand that.
This is a
They
very
work a
big
little
build.
differently. He is very stoic, very reserved, and not easy to glean much from. So you don't get a strong sense that he's hiding anything, he recognizes anything, but you also don't get a strong sense that he's completely in the dark. It's pretty difficult to tell. That's one of the reasons I'd like to make copies. I'd like to look into it. It seems relevant. But I don't recognize it offhand. And it's likely I would if it was... Well, there are others here who might be more attuned to sort of things. I'll ask. And
It's not the
study.
only place that we saw it. It was also on a pin, a clasp.
Yes. Was it a halfling, right?
Mm-hmm.
There was a halfling traveling with an automaton. I believe we've told you about them before.
You did. The duo that was questionably connected, perhaps.
The halfling had it on its chest. I spotted it because it was felt so out of place compared to the rest of the attire.
How do you mean?
It was an amulet that he was wearing.
The rest of
That
him looked pretty
was-
shoddy by comparison.
I see.
So the link is a
It-
bit less questionable and a bit more
Do you
concrete.
believe it may have been some sort of magical item?
Would I?
We didn't have time to check.
You, with him asking, I will say you can roll an Arcana check with disadvantage for you, Brightwing.
That's pretty good. It's 12.
12.
Yeah.
Hard to tell, or hard to remember even. It certainly was nicer, and that you had noted that originally and have kept it in your memory. But whether it was just a fine piece of jewelry that stood out, or whether it was because it was some kind of magical thing, You are not sure.
Well, at any rate, it still matches the paper that we gave you, the one that said to contact his connection. Is there any way to trace those? Figure out who they go to?
If there is a way, this would be the place to do it. So having these documents will help with that, and I will, if not conduct the research, I will get someone on it who's perhaps more capable for that particular kind of study. There aren't many places with more knowledge and insight on these sorts of things than us. Perhaps one or two, and he nods at you, Eclipse. But at the very least, it's concerning. And at the most, it's a thread that I can't imagine pulling will end well. But it needs to be checked at the very least. The rest of what you told me, I suppose you are to be lauded to a good degree. It will work well done. And it raises a number of questions. You told her, I assume, about the everything within the hag's layer except the bottle event.
We wouldn't. I would think we would mention the bottles, but we wouldn't mention
The ball.
the activity with the bottle.
I will open the bag of holding and pull out some of the books.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
She had these. I haven't really had a chance to sit down with them. I feel like they could be important. They could be linked.
Would you be willing to leave those as well for a night?
Yeah, that's fine.
Right.
I know Eclipse's family probably has interest in them as well, so I wouldn't leave them permanently, but a night is fine.
Understood. I don't expect us to learn everything we can necessarily, but I'd like to know what sorts of contents. And I still don't fully understand the motivations behind all of this. That seems to be the most clouded. And the source, I suppose, if this creature you destroyed was merely a vessel or an underling, points higher and deeper, which is not good.
It felt like a branch of something larger.
There is also the creature that is depicted in the ocean. There are many different artistic interpretations.
Does not sound friendly. I imagine it could be any number of things. Could just be references to stories. All kinds of sailors have tales of leviathans and things that... I'm sure some of it is true. Some of it may not be.
Would these blightlings be considered sailors?
No, I would not imagine so, despite their interest in the water or traveling through it. That does complicate things. Hard to know where they learned anything, given we don't really know what they are.
Hmm.
But the details you provided on the study that the group in Raygrove did, that helps us, and we can use that to learn quite a bit you guys have gathered, actually. Thank you. I suppose, in fair trade, I can offer you what the wind has found. Last we spoke, it was very newly broken, the news of these assassinations. We didn't know much. We've had a bit more time to investigate now. And learned a good amount. There were some powerful shrouds of arcana that initially balked our efforts to investigate the crimes and the scenes. But we garnered assistance that eventually enabled us to break through. Are you familiar with the Archesian Order? Eclipse and Faye. Both of you can roll history checks.
I don't have to roll because I know what it is.
20.
Dirty 20.
20?
Wow.
Turtle dice.
11.
Fucking Timothy.
Okay.
It's
You are very familiar, Eclipse. Would the rest of you indicate ignorance when he asks this? No
No.
responses.
Eyebrows up and
Okay.
right.
What is
I
it?
will...
Could you repeat the name?
The Archesian Order. And I will have Rylus explain, rather than me explaining to Eclipse and then having Rylus explain, or have to have Eclipse recount. The Archesian Order is a group of 9 mages, called Drykari. By all accounts, some of the most accomplished and gifted arcanists on all of Aanthara. One for each school of magic. The Order itself has existed since the founding of the Trivanian Accord, more than 3 centuries ago. We're not entirely sure how many times the members have rotated through, as the Order is somewhat aloof and prefers to remain largely out of the public eye, despite their widespread influence and contributions to maintaining and growing the stability of the Accord. They have been advisors, historians, researchers. Admittedly, we know little of their internal tenets, but the Order is primarily known as a unified force of learning, knowledge, balance, study, that supports and links the 3 realms of the Accord. Some have compared them to an arcane version of the wind. Anyway, and before continuing, I will note, what did you roll, Faye?
I had a dirty 20.
Okay. Oh, did you also roll dirty 20, Eclipse? Oh, that was Faye who said that. What did you roll?
11. It was
Okay.
really bad.
Faye, you would also know of the, and in fact this makes a lot of sense, given where you traverse and who you talk to. They have almost, this order has, and you're familiar with a bunch of what he just said, some of it at least, maybe not every detail.
Mhm.
But you know more pervasively, they have almost like a Freemasons vibe. Like that kind of, people know that it exists, but with very vague, cursory acknowledgement of what is mostly mystery.
What is happening on the
And-
inside?
Yeah, no one knows the details of what goes on, or who is in it, or how it works. Just that it's impactful and powerful and largely secretive.
Too many
Anyway.
wizards.
2 members of the Order assisted us in the investigation. Brand Viderson and Pakana Kinar. I will put these names in the chat
Thank you.
because they are words that are long. They were able to dispel the shrouds, allowing us to uncover quite a bit of relevant information. First, and most importantly, both victims were cursed with anti-resurrection magic. Dark arcana that is experimental, strong, and completely irreversible as far as we understand it. It has not been uncommon among assassins over the last several decades since it first began appearing. Obviously, the capabilities of people like yourself, and he gestures at Brightwing, otherwise make an assassin's work rather futile. With Drykar Kinar's assistance, we were also able to ascertain a significant level of detail about the events surrounding both murders. most glaringly, both seem to have been carried out by the same assassins. We don't know how they covered the distance between two in the time allotted, but there were identical markers on the bodies, similar signs throughout the scene, and somewhat familiar ones at that. We believe, not conclusive, this was the work of a duo. Siblings, if you can call them that. Soul-forged mercenary killers that have evaded capture for several years. We refer to them as the Umber Blade and the Iron Hand. They are extremely dangerous and have no moral compass beyond coin, based off the actions and the scenes they have left in their wake. If true, this is a bit of a double-edged blade, if you'll excuse my wording. On the one hand, it almost certainly confirms that there was a singular force behind both murders, and that they intended to remain separate and secret. On the other, it gives us very little to go on in our search for the truly responsible party. Hiring mercenaries like this is meant to distance. Moreover, we have no idea where the assassins are now, which gives us essentially nothing to work off of to move forward. There's rumor the Brenazon mob might have information on the duo, no doubt because they've had some level of covert dealings before, but they would never talk to a member of the Shaded Wind or anyone of any official affiliation for that matter. So I fear the trail is cold.
You have absolutely no leads on who would have paid them to do this.
No. They are, for what we understand, considered two of the most highly trained and valued assassins of this ilk. And one of the most valuable assets in such a hire is secrecy. So it is unsurprising that we know nothing beyond that.
The Brenazon mob, they are known to operate within Ilmara. Have you any leads on an inn there that someone that is perhaps not you may be able to infiltrate?
We know they operate here. And we don't know if they have some sort of headquarter. I doubt they would. It would seem foolish. At least here, given the presence of authority. I couldn't tell you where to start looking, if that's what you mean. We have suspicions about persons throughout Ilmara that could be involved, but none substantiated enough to make a move of any kind. And even if we did, they are very powerful and not to be crossed lightly.
Maybe I'm being too narrow-sighted. Why are we being told any of this?
He glances at Aedwin initially, then back at the rest. You were there when the announcement was given in Sawfield. You shared information with me that seemed important, and I... Shall I put it? I have a very keen ability to read people. You seemed then, and seem more so now, like capable, principled to some degree, and perhaps might have the ability to learn or penetrate where I and the wind cannot. It's not something I'm asking of you, and I know you're following your own leads. But the wind does not operate off of quiet seclusion. We seek allies. And it is part of my job to read potential allies and determine their use. That's why I asked you to tell me your tale first.
So the wind's hope is that our principle is strong enough to guide us through a moral compass to assist? Between the lines of contractual obligations, hired but not hired.
I don't expect any obligation out of you. And if you are asking if we would pay, the wind would not, but it's possible that I could facilitate some compensation from the government. Obviously, they have vested interest in this. So if that was important, it's something I could pursue.
Don't know how much help we could be in that big of a regard. I don't even know more than half of what you have just said.
The assassination of leaders. We've known each other a month.
It does not take me long. And I don't mean to insinuate that you're all the most upstanding citizens in Kathos. I'm not looking for generosity and deep morality. I'm looking for principle and a vested interest in the safety of people you care about. Which is something I believe I gleaned from you originally. This series of events is not good for the Republic or for the Accord, quite obviously. And there is unrest brewing. Whether it turns to anything more aggressively violent remains to be seen. I certainly hope not. If you have gods, I would pray not. But finding answers could be a more reliable solution to preventing that. Again, there's nothing I expect.
So are we tracking assassins now?
He is leaving it to us whether or not we would like to track assassins. And if we do so, we're doing it on our own. For the good of the Republic. Right?
If that is how you choose to see it.
Tyler Sutton would be doing it alone, to be fair.
Certainly there are others looking for them.
I can't imagine that we would undertake such a task without certain connections, assurances, resources.
All reasonable requests. Something that I can attempt to facilitate. If it is something you wish to undertake.
I think I would need to see an offer of what you could feasibly provide before we determine whether or not we'd be interested in pursuing it further. I mean, like, I wouldn't speak for everyone else, but I personally wouldn't commit myself to something like that without. I mean, that's She is a bird person. She's lovely. I don't know what he does, but he's got a cool watch. And he can spin a weapon. She guards books. He hunts things. I play a lute. We need a standing stone. We need some steps. We need a block. We need something. Like, I agree with Yasnip. I don't understand our qualifications.
I'm astonished of the offer in the first place.
Because you're ragtag. Is
Unnoticed.
that what you mean?
I whisper over to Eclipse. What is ragtag?
Have you seen us?
It's us.
It means we don't. I'll explain it.
Do you think that we would have better luck because we'd be unsuspecting?
Perhaps that's part of it. But you're... And he's looking directly at you, Faye. Brief summary of this group. I would call it simplistic at best. You are all capable of much more than the things you mentioned. And your playing of the lute might be part of that, but it goes further. Even he wields some power. He nods towards Yasna.
Insight check.
Roll an insight.
Yeah.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
Fucker. 9.
check. 9!
I don't like this guy, you guys. I really don't like him.
Then why are we telling him things?
Oh, God.
23.
23.
22.
22. Yasnip, you are... well, let me ask you this. Is Yasnip as intimidated by Rylus as you previously stated that Brian was?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yasnip does not like this guy.
Yeah. You're a little bit clouded by that and can't pick up what exactly he's getting at. Eclipse and Brightwing.
Faye and Brightwing.
Yes, thank you. Wait, was it?
It was Faye and
Faye and
Brightwing.
Brightwing.
Okay, Faye and Brightwing. Thank you.
I'm distracted.
Sure. You get a sense from him, from his confidence and those statements, that he has a very accurate insight into what you can do.
Is he scrying on us?
You don't know how, by any means. You're welcome to ask if you want. But it does not... You have shared some stories of events. You have not performed anything in front of him that he would recognize this stuff from. And he seems very keen on what you are capable of.
I don't know what you mean by that. Are you saying you know what we can do?
To a degree, yes. It is part of our training as Shadeseers to evaluate and learn quickly and deeply and accurately what someone is capable of.
How do you do that?
We have an ability to manipulate energy. I don't know how much you know about monks in general. The thing that I've been doing where I write in the air. That's one of the things I can do. I'm recording everything that's being said. And it can be accessed later. I can manipulate energy in other ways, and one of them is the ability to ascertain power, capability, skills. You're a healer, yes?
That is true.
Some of it is not entirely difficult to read off a person. Some of it is deeper. But I can learn a significant depth. And have done so. Apologies if you feel infringed on, but it's my job.
I just never heard of anyone doing something in depth, as you say.
It is not readily available to the general populace. It's something we train for years. But it is useful. And, to whatever degree, it tells me you all are capable. The principle I assume from just your stories and our interactions, and the careers of a couple of you. Glances briefly at Adrian and Eclipse. Again, I'm not asking you to abandon your current path to go hunt assassins. For what it's worth, I believe it may be a very tall task if you found them, and I would be very careful if you did. They are very dangerous. But if you come across anything, I would be appreciative.
Again, resources, connections, assurances.
When I return your documents to you tomorrow, I can attempt to bring a, shall we call it an offer, from whoever is willing. And I believe Parliament would be. I don't know what level of promise they would require, or what level of dedication to the task. That may vary. But I'll get you what I can.
And it would be an offer. Which point we could accept or refuse, correct?
I don't know what it would be, but
I'm gonna need more than that.
Think we'll get more tomorrow. Think pressing
whatever
now
I
would be
can
useless.
acquire, I will bring to you. It may be an offer, it may be a handshake. I will do what I can.
I don't want to be conscripted.
No. I will let them know that, but I don't imagine that would be part of it.
In case it wasn't iterated enough already, this is not an obligation.
No.
This is just a conversation that we all accepted to have yesterday, which we could have declined if we had chose to. We are here because we chose to be, and we can choose whether or not to follow this lead, but there's nothing that ties us to this. If we choose not to do it, then we don't. If they provide something tomorrow that inclines us to go that way, we can. That's what it comes down to.
And for what it's worth, I don't believe that they would want to be too publicly or officially tied to you, nor would I want them to be. I think that would cloud what is otherwise a more clear path. And avoiding your connection to authority that would otherwise complicate this task seems more wise.
Does the name Silver Eye mean anything to you?
No. Is it a person?
About Nadia. Bandits in league with the Brennison mob.
Ah, the ones you talked about at the fort.
Hmm.
I don't recognize their names in connection with the mob. In particular, I know someone or two named Nadia. Doubt it's the same. But I will look into those names.
Well, they're dead now, so.
But there's a prisoner in Proward.
That you believe has a connection to the mob.
They were part of the bandits.
Under the
I
The
don't know how much
connection
they
is loose at best.
Still might be worth a question or two.
Sure, if they had the opportunity of having some sort of a reduced sentence that they would talk. Remember things that they didn't know before.
You said you left them in Proward.
Mm-hmm. Captain Langdon.
Alright. That's something of a lead. On something, at the very least.
There's also a goblin.
A goblin.
Hmm.
A concerning one.
Filled with information, possibly. Slippery fellow. If you tell him
Are
that
you-
you are a person in league with the Twilight Heralds, he'll tell you everything.
Is that the moniker you've adopted?
It's easier than saying hi, we're Faye, Edwin, Brightwing, Yasnip, and Eclipse.
It is less of a mouthful. A goblin.
His name's Clert.
You gonna
Clert.
minor illusion him?
Oh, oh my god.
Minor illusion Clert.
Okay.
I'll make his sound. Ah!
This is the kind of thing that gave me interest in your group, for what it's worth. Out of the ordinary, which can be good when you're looking for out of the ordinary clues. Alright. I will find you at the estate sometime late tomorrow. Most likely I'll need to speak to Parliament or to officials there.
We have some business in town. That thing that Edwin said that you talked to him in the same way that I could talk to you. Could you perhaps do that a bit in advance so we know to be there?
I can.
Go ahead.
I do also have one more question. Are you aware of the swords mobilizing?
Yes.
What can you tell me?
It's rather out of the norm for them, as I imagine you would know.
Yeah.
There hasn't been a significant conflict on Aanthara for a long time. So there's not much of a measuring stick to place it against. But certainly they've leaned independent, as far as I've known of their existence. And it sounds like there is consideration for changing that. Potentially.
heard rumors of Commander Kathos putting wagers on this. On what side
It
to
is,
pick.
with all due respect, it is an order based primarily in coin, if more principled than others. So I can understand why it would be a consideration. Whether or not he follows through, I suppose remains to be seen. It isn't something we are keeping an eye on, as it could sway the balance of what occurs in the near term quite a bit. Nothing too concerning yet, I will say that. Just from what we've gleaned, consideration of offers is a bit curious.
Just, keep in mind it doesn't go all the way down the chain. There's still dissent among the captains on whether or not this is an ideal that should be pursued.
Unsurprising.
Of course.
It would be a shift, to put it kindly. But not one that I think impossible.
Let me know any new developments.
If I hear anything, I will. For that matter, perhaps it will help you a bit. He looks at you, Yasnip. Is there anything else you want me to communicate to you if I learn? I don't, even if no agreement is struck with higher authorities, I am willing to offer you what I can in exchange for what you find. If there's anything.
Are we at a table?
You are near a table at the very least. There's kind of a number of chairs. It's kind of like a lounging area, sort of. But there's
Are we,
study areas as well.
So, are we sitting? Are we standing? Like, I guess, what is our...
It's up to you whether you sit or stand, but he would be sitting at a chair kind of near the table but turned to the side, not like looking across it. It's sort of to his side.
I'm gonna kind of just go cockeyed and go from his eyes, like, down to his feet. What do his boots look like?
He's not wearing boots. He is wearing wraps around small, thin shoes that look primarily bent on nimbleness.
You're fast on your feet, aren't you?
I would not be very good at my job if I wasn't.
Well, when it comes to gathering supplies, or finding additional things to entice the offer a bit more, what if that also potentially included a trade? What if I had something that could make you faster?
Oh, shit.
Personal interest, after all. Maybe the government can't do much, but for your own push to get a better deal, and I will hop up the amethyst stone
Oh. Okay. Okay.
and just
Okay.
Can I take a look?
onto the table.
Okay. He puts his hand out over it, and you see a small pulse of like a shimmer, like a heat shimmer, down from his hand towards it, and then it pulls back up. Where'd you find it?
I think you'd like a little bit of a mystery, and I'll pull it back away from him.
Okay.
Nice. Dice it. Dice it.
I would be interested. And I will take it into consideration.
It might show us just how much you actually know about us. Finding something we would thusly be interested in.
I'll see what I can pull.
May I? Does your organization have anything on the dragons?
I mean, we have history. Records, stories, tales. What about them?
I don't know. They just seem to keep popping up.
Well, hopefully they don't actually pop up. That would be quite a dangerous turn of events for everyone involved. But if you're asking about their existence in general, they've been gone for hundreds of years.
I guess I just would like to know if there are any burial sites. Anything significant that is drawn to them around Kathos.
Burial sites, no. There are places where tales were more commonly referenced, but this was over 3,000 years ago. I imagine anything that would be left of them is fossil at best and ash at worst.
All right.
Have you heard of
Mhm.
anything happening in Alea?
What sort of thing?
Anything out of the ordinary?
No. There's a rather quiet city for all they've accomplished and managed there. Is that something we should be keeping an eye out for?
No, I just wanted to get caught up.
What about the Kathian military as well?
Bits of it have been mobilized, if that's what you're asking.
Yeah.
I believe, at the very most, it's showings of strength.
Hmm.
A peacocking, if you will. Again, there is too much shrouding these events for anyone to make a move without a foolish dive into something they don't want to dive into for now. But the longer we go without answers, the longer someone else has to come up with the wrong answer, or with the right answer that leads to the wrong conclusions. And that would be problematic. If there's nothing else, I'd like to get to studying.
By all means.
Alright.
I appreciate again what you've shared and your willingness to listen. Whether or not it leads to anything, and he primarily glances at Yasnip and then at Faye, I will leave to you, and perhaps to whatever sort of offer I can garner tomorrow. But I appreciate what you've given so far.
look forward to hearing from you.
He nods. I'll have you escorted out. Opens the door, flags down another young person, monk, and they lead you out. You get back on the road?
Yep.
Yeah, it's not far, right?
Nope. You walk sort of a bit back towards where you had branched away, and then back onto the path you had been walking. Faye again leading you all. And eventually, she leads you to a pair of gorgeous, intricate metal gates bearing the insignia that a couple of you noticed on that one ship with the name Renelia. That letter R on the center of the gate. Marking passage through a tall stone wall, one of those same white stone walls that seem to border different areas. And lined, the wall lined on both sides, inside and outside, by what are essentially like the Italian cypress trees. The super tall, thin, come to a point cone type trees. And beyond the gate, which you can see through because it's metal bar, you see a winding, well-manicured stone path, also lined with these tall trees, that curves out of sight after maybe about 100 feet. And there are a pair of human guards, well-armored, standing outside the gates with another pair inside. And as you walk up... Hello?
Hi.
You have business here. You don't recognize this person.
Oh,
Oh
sweet.
my gosh.
Did Carlina not tell you we were coming? And I'll like just kind of do one of these.
Miss Rosewood, I assume.
Yes.
Give us a moment. And signals to one of the guards inside, who walks away briskly. Returns about 6-7 minutes later. It's a pretty significant wait. Nods to one of the guards on your side, and they pull a lever, a lock, open it. Welcome, Miss Rosewood. Apologies for the delay. Do you need one of us to walk with you?
I do not. Please know, however, we will be in town for at least a day. My friends are to be trusted. Please let them in, whether or not I am with them.
Understood. They give a quick glance to everybody and seem deferential. You enter?
Yeah.
All right. You guys enter these gates and begin traversing this beautifully kept road or path. And after curving around the first bend, you see what appears to be a small but stunningly beautiful neighborhood. You see paths branching off in nearly every direction to wind their way between ponds, gardens, clusters of trees, marble statues of various humanoids in peak physical condition and very little clothing, striking proud or elegant poses. You see various buildings that appear to be small but ornate homes, most hemmed in by these tall, thin trees, and notably not made of the whitish stone you've seen throughout much of the Horizon District, but instead of mosaic-like combinations of multi-hued blocks of tuff in palettes of pinks, soft reds, and light browns. As you continue to follow the path, you reach a set of wide stairs that climbs up a short distance before breaking through another row of these tall cypress trees. And upon cresting the top, everything you just passed through is put to shame by the view ahead. You see sprawling grounds that cover multiple acres, all dotted and crisscrossed with shrubberies, trees, planters of every color and shape of flower imaginable, gazebos, fountains, larger and more intricate statues than you saw before. You see in front of you a small lake, maybe 100 feet across and a few hundred feet wide, with jets of water rising 10 feet up into the air before being swept into mist. You see several small streams flowing out from the lake through the rest of the grounds, and crossing the lake, you see a beautiful curved bridge made of those same reddish stone blocks, but intricately carved along the side with twisting vines and flowers. And on the other side of the lake, you see a massive building of the same stone, rectangular, 3 stories high, with huge arched windows on every level, small pillars along the outer palisades, nearly all the architectural details bordered by those carvings of vines and flowers. And as you cross the bridge, now at a higher vantage point, you can see these sprawling grounds are all bordered by those high stone walls you had seen at the front with the gate. And most of you begin to put together this is not a neighborhood, it is a singular estate, at the center of which stands a vast, striking home before you. And as you reach the opposite end of the bridge, a pair of massive, dark mahogany doors, emblazoned once again with that letter R insignia, open in the front of this building, and a woman begins briskly walking towards you. You see a Kell, which is, for anyone's reference, the sort of half-orc race of Aanthara, though not with the brownish skin of Mayor Maddock, which is the Kell some of you have seen, but with a soft teal skin. And you see thick gray hair that was likely once black pulled up into a bun, with a long, thin gold spike that's sort of pierced through it, holding it together. A sturdy physique, plain but kind features, wearing a maroon pantsuit trimmed with gold embroidery. Faye, you recognize this to be Carlina, the housekeeper and manager of the Rosewood Estate here in Ilmara. And she, as she trots up, "Felicity, my dear, it has been so long." And that is where we will end this session.
Oh my god! What the hell?
Okay,
You
Richie Rich.
Fool, did you actually think we wouldn't hear your full ass name when we got here? I mean, come on. You had to have known, right?
I told Matt they were like from money, and he
Oh,
starts
yeah?
sending me pictures of like Kardashian-esque estates, and I'm just like,
Christ! You have a neighborhood leading up to your house!
I mean, all the people gotta live somewhere.
I guess so!
Yep.
Oh my god!
this is the alternate residence.
Yeah, that makes
This is the Amaran Estate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I caught that.
This is just
Here in
what?
Omara,
Yeah.
because there's others apparently.
There's yeah, it's fine.
Mhm,
Are there like
mhm.
peacocks and swans everywhere?
There's gotta
Probably, yes. Yeah.
Hmm.
All right. What a session. Holy
Yes.
mackerel. It was a lot of stuff. Favorite moments? Anybody?
Uh-uh.
The
The
Goslin
whisper.
don't like it.
Mm-mm.
the
Two
45 minutes between Jess and I trying to figure out where the fuck we heard the name Hattie McBride before. Because we were both
None
like,
of
that
it
is-
was anything I'd ever heard, as far as I know. But man, we went down
Right.
a rabbit hole.
Because I was like,
it
there's,
was not
there's
good.
no fucking way. Like, it sounded so familiar, and I was like, it's got to be something, right? And it is.
Apparently, there's a thing. We'll get into it later.
Well, yeah,
Oh, I'm curious now.
We'll get into it later.
Did you just make it up?
No,
No,
Yes.
it's
well,
for sure
okay, yeah.
super real.
He made it up. Yeah,
But he
it was-
just made it up.
Yeah, it was interesting.
Oh,
We'll get into it.
gosh.
We'll get into it later.
Boy.
Well,
And-
you love it when fiction mirrors reality, I guess.
Accidentally, and
also-
hopefully it doesn't.
I also
Um,
find it quite funny how he called like the big like gathering of like merchants, salespeople, and hobbyists Mercari, like the website, as if you couldn't be more on the nose with it. But you
Mm.
know, it's good. It's a cool city. I enjoy it.
I mean, probably one of the best ones is the way Megan just lit up when you started describing this R on the front of the sky ship.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yes. glee,
Yeah.
which was great, and then the entire reveal of the estate was good.
This is the first I've heard details too, so I'm equally
Mhm.
like,
Equally excited.
yeah.
It's pretty impressive, Miss Rosewood.
As much as Rylus fucking
I think
scares
it explains
me,
a lot.
I love that guy too. As much as I hate him,
Oh, Rylus
I
is
think he's
awesome. I
fantastic.
fucking love him.
hate him.
He's the
I
best.
hate him so much, but he's so good.
He's so good.
Three things. The whisper that you gave Brian and I. Whoa.
Leah, stop.
Yeah, like
I'm stopping there.
I guess I'm out of the loop on that. That's fine. It's like,
My favorite thing is something that only 3 of us know about.
Wild.
Love that.
And then the second thing, I love the bison. Everything with the bison.
I have stuck in my head. Bright wings, a grass dealer.
That was 100% like 100 bison were like high on marijuana.
The whole migration is just fully stalled by all the bison going the wrong direction for a
This
day.
ain't a sleep, it's some
Don't.
fucking bison.
And then Ellie. That's been
That was big. That was wholesome.
Matt was like, and that's a little insight to like our creation, because I was like, Matt, I get another language. What should I get? I don't think she would know any of like the normal languages of D&D. And then I don't remember. We had a little of a conversation, and then offhandedly, I was like, well, I know sign language as a joke, and then Matt was like, but hey, but what if you did know sign language? And then I was like, could we do that? He's like, hell yeah, we could. And proceeded to make deaf characters for me to sign to.
There
I love
are
the
deaf
representation.
people in the world.
it was
Yeah.
Eclipse, Faye.
I think that the fight going as smoothly as it did. I think we were really worried about how that was gonna go, and that
Yeah.
yeah.
You guys
we
cleaned
were,
that up.
We also like
Real good.
we were wondering how the grapple would go, and I was like, but I'm big.
Yeah.
I don't think it's gonna be able to. And then so when you were like, it can't, I was like, ha.
Loser.
I knew it.
Yep.
Yeah, it was but yeah, I'm glad that went smooth. Like I didn't think it was going to, but we did it. So.
That whole fight was a
Yeah,
whatever parabola.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you guys were owning in the beginning, and then
and
it
then
went.
it
like a-
escalated.
Backwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
escalated
yeah,
real
yeah.
quick, and then you cleaned it up real quick.
Yeah, that
Great
was crazy.
things.
I thought that was gonna be a lot more, but yeah, I liked Faye getting the final hit on that.
Oh yeah,
That was
that was
good.
cool.
I think my favorite was 30 minutes of shutting up and listening to Matt describe a city in a world that he has spent over 2 years building.
Yeah.
And the pride in your voice as you
Mm.
described some of the fine details was just so lovely. And I'm so happy for you that you're able to like put your creation out into the world, and that you're proud of it, and that we're able to interact with it in new and exciting ways that you perhaps didn't imagine. So I'm stoked.
Well,
And I think we
there
had
were-
bits and pieces of it in the mini sessions, like our session 0.
Uh-huh.
So it was like we
Yeah.
had a little explanation, but this was like the first time we got like a full, deep
Yeah.
description.
Well, and like
of
the ride up to the top, like all of
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. it was very cool.
the best parts of those things are when they incorporate things that you guys have brought. Because like I can write a nice description and stuff, but I just throw away mention that there's dozens of estates that are gorgeous that you guys never go inside. But when a character ends up being from a family that is the Cathian version of FedEx, and they own these estates, and we can go on them and see things in them. It elevates, and
It
so
really-
that was super
This
cool.
episode felt like entering Ba Sing Se from Avatar, like going through the different rings and then going to the very fancy ring with like where the king. That's what it felt like to me, which was awesome. I felt it was really, really cool.
There is no war in Kathos.
Yep. And we didn't even glance in the casino, which
Yes.
exists.
We're here
That's
for like
a
the next
fucking
2
disaster.
months, you guys. Like,
No.
for real.
No,
Yeah.
We're,
no.
we're
Family's
here
gonna
for like
die. What are you
2
talking
fucking
about?
months.
Please, no.
It's so happening.
No.
We literally can't. I will leave by myself.
No, like,
True.
we're going. We
I
have
have a
prayer.
horse
In real
and a
life.
dream, and I will go by myself.
One-
That's a
one-
dream.
1 month per
Oh.
day that we're here, okay?
That is how casinos do work. That is true.
And confirmed.
Okay.
I will state from a favorite moment standpoint, it certainly is very enjoyable to explore the city that is. This was probably the second city that I made after Proward, because Proward was going to be the starting spot. But then I knew this would be an important place. So there's been a lot. I don't even know how many words there are in this city's details, but it's multiple pages. So that was pretty great. But I think for me, the little bits of opportunity to pluck into character stuff is my favorite. So whether that's the deaf girl in the family or the whisper or the Rosewood stuff, I really enjoy and appreciate that stuff because it's like the collision of your guys' stuff with the world, and that's super cool to me. And stuff do be going on all the time. All right, session 30. We've had 30 sessions.
30.
3 decades worth of sessions. This campaign is
Yeah.
almost as old as me.
Almost.
We will leave it there and see you all next week in session 31.